So today's guest is a multi-talented one. She's a poet turned fiction writer, a passionate reader, and a true connoisseur of the macabre. With a library packed full of obscure horror films, she's someone who finds joy in the challenge of bold imagery and haunting storytelling. She will tell us about that. Those are receipts. When she's not lost in pages of plot lines, she's likely off adventuring with her husband. I think they're celebrating their 12th year anniversary this year, seeking out places filled with good people, great beer, and opportunities to reconnect with nature, and cocktails as well as somewhere in there. At the heart of everything she creates, whether in her writing or in her day-to-day life, is a deep curiosity about the human condition and the magic that lies within it. And we are going to share those books that she has written in the last couple of years, so that you guys can get to appreciate that. She brings this same creative spirit to YouTube, where she runs distinct but equally vibrant channels. On BOK Media Life, which is our main channel, she transforms everyday materials into high-end looking DIY decor. You can see her background. You can see the thing she's talking about. Her necklace, DIY. Helping viewers style their spaces on a budget. And then on BOK Media Food Freaks, she takes you on a flavorful ride, traveling for food, good to eat, testing out wild and wonderful dishes, sharing cooking hacks, and mixing cocktails like a pro. I found her making. There's a time I met her there doing lemon, and I asked her, "What are you going to do with the other lemon?" He's like, "Goga, wait for the weekend." So whether you're a lover of words, food, or just fabulous home hacks, you want to learn, you want to stick around for this conversation, because she's the kind of creator who reminds us that creativity does not know bound. And we are so thrilled to have her here at the Sunday service, because she's going to encourage you to continue creating unapologetically. Without further ado, allow me to bring her up on the screen so that she can introduce herself in the best way she knows how. I know I may not have done it justice. Be okay. Welcome to the Sunday service.
Thank you, Goga. Goga's intros, come on now. That's what I'm talking about. That's a forward for a good book. He always knows exactly what he's doing. I love it. I love the energy and the vibes. Quick correction, I have been married to Aaron for 11 years, but thank you for throwing that extra year in there, Goga. I'm hoping that we make it. I'm in it for the long haul, so it's good to go.
Be okay, you're going to get me into trouble with Aaron. He's listening.
But I want to say also thank you to everybody who showed up on both Goga's channel and on mine. Thank you guys so much for the support. Big shout out to Ola Joe and my husband A-Train, who are moderating over there. They're some of the world's best moderators that you will ever see. Make sure that you connect certainly to Ola Joe's channel. A-Train does not have a channel yet, but Ola Joe does, and she's awesome and a great supporter, so please do connect with them. Yeah, I think Goga pretty much covered it. I think we're over now. Bye, you guys. Have a good rest of your day. No, sorry. What is there to say about me? I mean, I'm sure we'll get deeper into it, but mostly I am a socially awkward weirdo who loves making art. I come from a art family. My father was an electrical engineer. He's also a painter and a woodworker. My mother was a registered nurse who was the head of the infectious disease department in the clinic that she worked in, but she was also an actress, a painter, and a poet. My brother is a painter, a poet, a sculptor, a musician. I married a man who's a graphic artist and a musician. I am one of those people who believes that it is impossible to live a day without the appreciation of what this is, the experience that we're having and how it resonates with us and how we speak back to it. I feel like that's part of our connection with whatever the greater power is. And it's a daily venture. So it's just the way that I live. Right? So when you see me make stuff on the channel, when you hear me talk about stuff, that's the actual reality. There's no green screen in my life. Everything you see is exactly what it is. If you see me cook something on the food channel, that's because it's something I want to eat. That's because it's something we're going to eat. If you see me make something on the DIY channel, that's because it's likely to go up in this house. I'm very authentic in that way. Whatever you're going to get from me is going to be what I get. And the best version of myself that I can put forth. So that's what I got on that. Start asking your questions, Goga. Let's do this.
What question? You literally finished the entire interview in your introduction. Wait, a family of... Did you say your mom is an actress?
She was. She's no longer with us, but she was an actress.
Oh,
yeah. She was.
And then your brother, you mentioned your brother being an artist. You talked about there's a lot of arts in your family. I mean, how was it like growing up in that? You know, just those influences, especially as a young girl in the States, and you have all, you know, your mom is, you know, busy, you know, saving lives. Dad is busy like creating things. Your brother is being experimental on things. How was growing up in that kind of a family setup like, and how did it like really inspire, you to get maybe into the creative space?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it helped me understand that it was important to always be paying attention and also always being aware of what my experiences were and how you can interpret it in things and ways beyond language. Again, probably on this chat, we have a billion people speaking in however many different languages, right? Some of what connects us is, I think, people from other countries tend to learn how to speak English, but that may not be your first language. But art is the thing that is the high speech, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that connects us all to each other, to again, the higher power that we all, whatever you want to call it, are serving. So I feel like being raised in a family like that just allowed me to always try to look for the more in it, to be okay with having an experience that kind of transcended what just the day-to-day minutia of life was. And it was, I don't know. I always say that part of what made me probably as weird as I am is these stories of my dad and my mom. He would take her to the park and he would read Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner to my mother's stomach while I was in there. If you're not familiar with E.E. Cummings' Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, it is not a children's story. Okay, it's not about bunnies. It's about nonsense. And I strongly encourage you, if you have not read it, to read it. And then tell me if it's something that you read a fetus, because it's not. So I blame my father for part of my weirdness, but I also blame them in a good way, my whole family, for being so encouraging. I always feel like people are always like, why are you so supportive to other people just without asking for anything back? And I'm like, because in my life, the amount of support I have received for every single endeavor I have wanted to do has surpassed anything that I think any other person on the face of the planet has ever gotten. So what do? You reach it back. My dad says a phrase all the time. He says, each one teach one, each one reach one. And that is how I choose to try to live. If I learn something and I feel like it's a benefit to you, how do I give it to you? If I can reach you in some sort of way where you are, let me give it a shot. I'm always looking to try to be of service. And I feel like that's part of being an artist, or part of looking at the world that way, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. I like that. Each one, I like that comment because I've seen it on one of my videos, and I think it's really nice just getting to understand where it came from. Your name is also very unique, and I think it came out when you're busy explaining. Be okay. I never used to think of it that way. I used to think it's like an acronym for something. So be okay. What inspired the name Be Okay? In terms of, because I see it on your channels, I see it on your space. Most of us, of course, call you Be Okay, but we do know that that may not be your real name. But on this particular space, I like using the channel name so that people can get to understand. What inspires Be Okay as a title? Because I find it very creative, and it's just seen it across the board in all the spaces.
Yeah. So it's funny because at the time when I was thinking about starting a channel, Aaron and I were just kind of joking around. Ultimately, when Aaron and I think about things, because we're both entrepreneurs, we don't think about things in the first step. We think about the thing 20 steps down the line. So ultimately what we thought about was creating a brand, right? Because when you create a brand, you don't want to create it just where you are. You want to create it with the space to grow inside of it. And what Be Okay is, while a very cool statement, right? Be Okay. It's actually a combination of both Aaron's and I's name together. So it comes together in that way, and it just happened to be perfect. And it was just kind of, again, the ethos of the channel and ultimately the umbrella branding of what we're trying to do, which is just to empower people to find ways to be okay. The world is constantly trying to give you 1,000 reasons not to be.
I love that.
And I'm going to try to give you 1,000 reasons to be. And that's what we try to do on the channels.
I love that. And speaking, guys, of 1,000 reasons to be, yeah, let's be okay with getting getting this
Baby.
house to 700, as Benny Blanco says. I like how it just came out nicely. Yeah, let's be okay with it. So, in case you're supporting on the other side, keep dropping those thumbs ups and make sure you connect to that beautiful house. Ask your questions on the chat. Sorry, ask your questions on the chat. I'll be able to ask her. So that I'm not the only one. You guys, I can talk to be okay the whole day. So don't let me monopolize her presence here. In case you want to ask anything, feel free to ask. So be okay. Mashiano is saying, true, art has no language. I think that was one of the comments that that came out when you were busy doing that conversation. Resume is asking, did this one start early? No, we did not start early. You are late. We are late. And interesting enough, Resume has been talking to me during the day, so I don't know how he was late for the Sunday service. I don't know how he was late for the Sunday service. Yeah, and he was like, "Goga, I'm coming to collect the crown. Even your crown has been taken. And then Ola Joe is saying, please check out her other channel, Be Okay Media Life, and she's dropping the link. They're dropping the link there. Let me not assume because I'm not connected to Ola Joe. At least I know Aaron. So let me see if I can share the screen real quick. So we have two houses here. This is your main house, the Be Okay Media Life. That is the one that people I think may not be having. But the other one you guys are watching the live stream on, that is our second channel. That the one that you're getting to 700, that is a second channel. So be okay. Allow me to ask one question that is very, that may be very personal in terms of just your content creation journey. Would you remember that moment you defined yourself as a creator? Like that moment you realize that you're a creator? Because I know sometimes I don't know what your parents I don't know what your parents thought you could have taken up as a career. Here where I sit, I know my mother always wanted me to be a particular thing. My father always wanted me to be a particular thing. My grandfather always wanted me to be a pilot, but I realized that I can be a pilot either way, even if I'm a doctor or a lawyer. So yeah, is there a particular profession maybe the parents wanted to push you towards, but then you're like, no, I'm a creator. I'm gonna write books. I'm a poet. I'm gonna do poems. Wait a minute, I can create YouTube channels. Wait a minute, I can create things with my hands. I can do DIY. When is that exact moment you realize that, hey, I'm a creator and I want to do this boldly?
Okay. Let me answer that question, but beforehand, let me first just do this. Benny B, thank you. I want to just do one thing, and I told Goga that I was going to say this. I am very appreciative to all of you who choose to connect to either of my channels and help them grow. But I strongly, strongly ask that you take a moment before you just hit the subscribe button and just watch a video. Doesn't need to be a super long video on either one of my channels, and determine if that content resonates with you. If that content resonates with you, please subscribe, because we'd love to have you in the community. But if it doesn't, do not subscribe out of obligation. I do not require that from you. I don't. You do not have to do it out of pure obligation. Subscribe if it's something that resonates. Because to be frankly honest, if you're subscribing to me, for me to have to subscribe back to you and watch your content, I will do the best that I can, but your girl is just a people, and I'm running out of time. I cannot watch everybody's content just to support you because you're supporting me. So please only choose to subscribe if that content resonates with you and that's something you're into. So I just wanted to clear that up just really quick. But I appreciate all of you guys who subscribe. I really do. But please make sure it resonates with you if you're choosing to subscribe. Okay. Now to Goga's wonderful question.
Back to your question. Yes. And I like that. That's a great point. That's a really great point, because what's the point of if you don't resonate and stuff? So I totally agree.
Yeah. So to be clear, the way that my household worked, we're a very talkative group, right? Made up of a bunch of fire signs. And it was never told to me that I had to do one thing or the other. Being a creative and being artistic was something that was always integrated into just our life. There was never a time where there wasn't a space for art. My mother was taking me to theater early on. I wrote my first play, starred in, directed, and hired actors in it when I was 8. I wrote my first hardcover book when I was 11.
Wow.
These were just things that just were the way that it was. My grandmother's taught me how to quilt. I would make quilts. Like everything that existed in my life during the entire time of my life has had a component of art. So I don't think anything I'm doing here is particularly new or novel. That being said, I did start off college pre-med. At some point, it dawned on me that that was not something I wanted to do. And so I chose not to. So I finished up with a degree in English and a minor in psychology, because those things are things that resonated with me. And so, yeah, but in terms of choosing to create, or the moment in which I decided to create, I guess it was, you know, when I shot out into the universe. I don't the whole dang time. I've been creating from the beginning. So, oh, look at these pictures. I live it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, those are just some of the snapshots from BOK. You know what happens over at BOK, BOK's two channels. So there's the BOK Media Live and there's the BOK Media Food Freaks. So you can check out that. So the food, of course, will align with the second channel, and then you'll see the DIYs that are popping up. That happens also to you know, that's going on there on her main house. You're also a published author. You know, that is like a big deal. You've written books. Like, girl, hold on. Let me put up this, because I literally went to your Amazon and I saw all your books there. And I did watch there's a video I watched on one of your channels where you were interviewing your hubby about a particular book. But guys, I will let you go there. I can drop the link on the chat so that you guys can check out this, because I know it just, you know, because this is something else that, you know, she's working on. BOK, you have it's not even one book. Like, there are many. There are like over 10 books here. How did you find yourself from, okay, this is not what I want to do, but I can write books? Writing is an art. Writing is something people do maybe when they want to like retire, or when they think they've accumulated enough experiences. You know, we associate writing with like, this is like the ultimate goal when you are finishing things, you know, so that you can leave a legacy. What inspired you to like write books?
I mean, again, I've been writing since I was a kid. Journaling was something my mother pushed a lot. So both my brother and I did a lot of journaling. And probably until I was 22, I kept a journal every single day of my life for the first like 22. Well, I mean, from the time I could start writing to the age of 22, because it was just, I don't know. I feel like it's important to be able to chronicle your experience because it's unique to you. I'm an avid reader. I'm a huge reader. And as I stated, like, even prior to being born, literature was just such a big part of my family. All of us are big readers. And writing just came naturally to me. I'm a very opinionated person, as people will say. And I feel like my perspective, again, very unique to me. And I like expressing that through writing. It's technically my sweet spot. I make a lot of stuff. I do a lot of different types of art, but writing is the thing that feels like it was given to me as a gift. It's just something I really find myself in fully. I fully find myself inside of writing.
Wow. Now, how do you juggle between, so there's writing, there is you being a DIYer, if there's a word like that, and there's food as well, where you're a food content creator, and you're also doing like all these things on on BOK Media Live. How do you move between these different creative hats you wear? Because these are so many hats. You know, if you're not writing, then you could be actually creating with your hands. You're also cooking, and cooking also becomes an art in that particular sense. How do you like move between those different aspects of creativity?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I feel like, I don't know how to explain this, but I feel like the thing that moves my art is a thing. Imagine it as a ball of energy, and it's just shooting off in different directions. So it's the same energy, right? The same energy that's necessary for me to be able to write books is there in my creativity of videography or of creating DIYs or whatever. It's like, I choose to live, like I said, just on that level. So for me, everything is art. For me, everything is an experience waiting to be captured and interpreted by me, and then possibly put back out in the universe in whatever way I've interpreted it. So it doesn't really feel like three different things. It just feels like the same thing being done with different iterations. Does that make sense? So yeah, I say does that make sense a lot because I always think that it doesn't make sense to people. And
Does it make sense?
while I don't care, I feel like it's just something I do. It's a little tick I've picked up. Does that make sense? Anyway.
It's like another statement, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, from Red's Room. You know what I mean? You know, I may not know what you mean, but yeah, I get the point. But I mean, what would a typical day of creativity in the life of BOK, be? Like, what does that look like? Is it something that is structured or is just spontaneous? You're like, oh wait, I've seen this picture on the wall. There's something I can add here. There's something I can do here. It's like, oh, wait a minute, there was this aspect of a story. I need to put this down somewhere. This can be a future book. What does a typical day just look like in the life of BOK when it comes to creativity?
Yeah, I mean, well, people who know me, especially my girl Keish from Keisha the Stylist, because she and I meet bi-weekly, and Keisha's seen my office, and she knows I am a very, very structured person. So I have a giant dry erase board. I plan out all of my videos, sometimes months in advance. I've started trying to do them just like a week at a time. But with 2 channels, I'm running 3 pieces of edited content every week on 2 channels. That's 6 different videos that have to be edited and shot. And specifically with the DIY stuff, I have to conceive of what that DIY is, possibly source the goods, albeit I have a huge stash of DIY materials here. I have to make that, right? So I have to shoot the video for that. Then I have to stage them. And then I have to film that and edit that. So there's a typical day for me looks like just executing the plan. Because I usually am not doing day-to-day type of things as it pertains specifically to my channels. I am very specific about what I'm doing. That being said, I try to leave the room open for there to be a dynamic nature because that's important in art too, right? You want to be available to things that may kind of grow inside of you. Like the other day, and this happens to me a lot with the writing, I will wake up with a line. It'll just start as a simple line in my head. And one of 2 things will happen. The line will leave me and I can go about my business, possibly go back to sleep, possibly enjoy my slumber, or the line will scratch and itch away at me and then begin to build itself. And Aaron can vouch for this. When that happens, I've got to get up and I've got to start writing it because that line has already decided that it wanted to be born. And I have to do that. So that begins that day, right? But mostly I'm very structured. If that answers your overall question, I have a high structure to what I'm doing. What was Keisha's comment? I didn't see it. I was too busy.
Keisha said she's a very busy lady.
That's a very busy lady. Yeah. Keisha's very busy too.
Yeah, that's what, like, she's a very busy lady. And that can be a great point to just start talking about. Why is structure important? Because I do believe in structure when it comes to content creation, but there are people who just like wing it. For me, I believe structure makes you more orderly. It saves you like a lot of time and things like that. It just makes things, it's always good to have like a level of control over certain things than when you're busy firefighting. Why is structure very important for you in your artistry? And is it something that you had always that you cultivated over time, or is it something that you realize that you needed as a skill, maybe out of maybe a previous experience or maybe past experience?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think early on, I mean, I come from a family of people who make lists. It was something that my mother very much so believed in. And I think it was important for her because she understood, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but and it's not even so much about being highly intelligent, but people who have a lot happening inside of them, the lists will allow you to ease some of the tension of the buildup of thoughts that you have inside of your head. If you're trying to hold them all inside of your head, you don't have any free space to really create innovations that help to make your life easy or to help you make things move smoother. So it's really important to offload some of that stuff in some sort of tangible written manner, right? Because as soon as I put it down, it's there. it exists now somewhere else. I don't have to try to go, okay, I got to remember that. I got to remember that. I got to remember that. On top of the 45 billion other things that my mind is trying to craft at any given point, because that's the truth. My mind is crafting. As I talk to you right now, my mind is like, oh, look at that over there. I could probably do. It's just, that's how my mind works. So without having some sort of structure where I'm able to offload some of the stuff from the storeroom that is my freaky little mind, it would be too much. So I feel like it's important to be able to have some sort of process, tangible process that you're using to help keep you organized, so that your mind doesn't have to hold it all, because you're just a people and we don't have an infinite amount of space inside of us.
That's true. Let us talk about, let's talk about DIY, for example. DIY content is very popular, especially on platforms such as YouTube. What is the investment that goes into you making things from scratch with your hand? And I don't know, maybe Aaron would have been the best person to answer this. Like, is there like a room that has a lot of things that's just like a pile of things that are probably future? These are future DIY projects. So what is the investment that goes into DIY, and how do you like ideate around DIY? And I want you to think. I want you to answer this from the point of not just getting the stuff, but also just help me understand the shooting. Because when I see your videos, I'm like, how much effort goes into making like this video? Because there's I think there's I think there has to be a cost to it, in terms, even if it's not like money, even if it's trying to create something on a budget, but also just trying to think of it in terms of the time, getting the angles right, things like that.
Yeah. It's funny because I think now I have it down more to a science of something that makes sense, but it depends on the DIY. Right now, because I'm managing 2 channels, a large portion of what you see me do are DIYs that are not incredibly complex. Okay. In the beginning, when I was just doing my 1 channel, there were some DIYs there that took hours, right? Between the time of, say, sourcing the materials, putting the materials together, waiting for things to dry, depending on what they were, and for their structural integrity, waiting for paint to dry, things of that nature. Because I have the 2 channels, I really, again, plot my time based on what I have, what my resources are, and what my availability is to really put into that 1 video. And in terms of shooting shots, couple things I would say. I have 3 different spaces in the house that I film in. Okay. But my shot's always the same. I shouldn't say that. My shot's the same in 2 of those places. I like to shoot an over shot. I have a tripod. You guys are on it right now. And I like my tripod to be sitting at a 90-degree angle like this, with my camera facing directly down at whatever it is that I'm filming, and light hitting that thing. Okay. Now, I'm saying that and emphasizing that because a lot of people ask me about my editing for my food videos, and for my DIY videos. And I cannot stress this enough. Your camera is only going to be able to output to you in your editing what you gave it. And one of the major things that your camera wants is not to look at you or whatever you're doing. What your camera eats is interpretations of light. If you are not lighting your space reasonably enough, you will have a dank looking shot. It will look like you shot it in a bunker in somebody's basement. It's not your fault, but realistically, that is what the camera is using to make a picture. It requires light. That's all it requires, is light from you. Everything else you can edit out or in. But if you don't give it light, it will not have what it needs to get by. Okay. And when I say that, right now I'm in a really, really well lit room, but you can't see this, but I'm also lighting myself from above because I wanted there to be a very natural light here. My strong suggestion is to take some courses, play around, toy with the light. You cannot shoot a good video unless you live in an atrium lit entirely on natural light. It is an impossibility. If you're trying to shoot, I should say this, if you're trying to shoot a video in which detail is imperative, that is not going to work. You cannot shoot a video where detail is imperative with an exposed light bulb hanging on your ceiling somewhere. That is not going to be enough light. You are going to need to potentially invest, and I'll talk about how I feel about investing a little bit later. But I'm sure Gogo will ask me. But you do want to invest in something even as inexpensive as this ring light you guys are on, which is not on right now because it would have a glare in my eyes. But this thing was like $20 US. But you're gonna want to invest in some sort of light to give your camera what it needs. Okay, that's the most important thing I could say about that. Again, to answer the rest of your question, from start to finish, a DIY video could be something as simple as 30 minutes, or it could be something as simple as a week, you know, because it really depends on what I need. It depends on how I'm sourcing it. I have a huge stash of DIY materials here. So largely I go up. We have 2 places where I'm storing tons and tons of crap. I have a space in the attic that's a freak show. I'm a very organized person, and that place scares the hell out of me because it's as organized as I can be, but it's as organized as a workshop, right? So it's not the pristine spaces that I try to keep throughout the house. It's wood, right? And glue sticks and nonsense. And then there's totes in the basement. So if I have to go source items, that's time. So yeah, it really depends, Gogo. What was the comment that was just up? Sorry, I'm not reading quick enough, am I?
No. Sorry, I was just so it is the Kanini says even the chair she's sitting on is art. Like she's just making like an observation, and then she's also asking you a question. Be okay. I only need a necklace, my sister. You are looking. Mwah. Let's talk about that necklace because you talked about it, and she's actually they're busy discussing your style with somebody else on the live stream. Is like, oh wow, look at her style, you know, from the necklace, from the, you know, yeah.
Oh
Let's talk about now something like a necklace when it comes to creating. Like what inspires you especially to create this? Because it's very creative, it looks very artsy. And please, is it Olajo or Aaron? Please drop the link to that video for the necklace. The necklace DIY. Yeah. Please drop it for us, like, yeah, so that we can even check it on the channel. Yeah. So something. Let's say, for example, like that necklace you're wearing. Just ideating around the content creation. What does that look like? You know, for somebody who is like thinking of getting into this space of recording what they're doing with their hands because they do have the creativity in them.
Yeah, I mean, this again, hopefully Adrian is dropping the link. I think he is. I think I emailed it to him. But I think this necklace from start to finish took me 15-20 minutes to make.
Wow.
But that's because you'll see how it's made. It's really not that complex. But that's the beauty of making DIYs, is that if you're doing it well, people will think that it's something really, really incredible, because it is. You made it, but incredible does not have to equal expensive. And when I say expensive, because resources are not just money, you guys, resources are also time, right? And your energy. Those are all resources as well. And I'm saying this was not very expensive in any of those resources. But when I walk on the streets, people compliment this because it's a beautiful piece. And that's one of the reasons why I love empowering people to make their own stuff. And that's why I do that on the DIY channel. Because, yeah, just throw this together. You know how to do it. Or if you don't, let me show you how. But, yeah, this did not take very long. And I just loved it because people who watch my channel know that your girl loves a good piece of jewelry. Specifically, I guess what would be considered costume jewelry. I don't like real jewelry. I like statement piece jewelry. And it's largely because when you see me, I'm usually wearing black. Right now, you guys just see my top part, but underneath here, I'm wearing a black skirt. I'm wearing black almost all the time. Okay, this is just how your girl lives. All right, I'm a freaking ninja.
No, you're going to make Red Rooms get so excited on the live stream because of the word ninja. He loves it.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's how your girl stays. But what I like about wearing black is that it gives me the potential to do all sorts of other things with it. I can do different things with my earrings. You see me a lot of times, I'm always wearing a headband. And that's like one of the places where I bring in my color. But I don't bring in my color in my outfit. I'm very, very Einstein in that way. I'm like black tank top, black yoga pants. We're doing it, and I'm out. I don't want to spend a lot of time in my day-to-day life because I have 1,000 things I'm trying to do, trying to execute an outfit. That's something that's best left for Keisha the stylist. That is not what's left for me because I don't have that capability. I just need to put some damn clothes on and do what I got to do, right? And then if I have to shoot a video later in the day or I have to come up on somebody's live, all I got to do is throw on a little neck piece and I'm good to day and go. So that's how I like to kind of keep stuff moving. But yeah, I don't even remember what the hell your question was anymore, Goga. Tell me what it was again.
No, you've kind of answered it because I was just narrowing down into the necklace as part of the DIY conversation.
Fair enough.
You bring in some amazing conversation around the creative process, especially when it comes to the content itself. I like what you said about your camera will not give you something magical that you do not feed into it. That is like a very strong statement, and I love it because yes, the original footage of what you make, there's no magic that can. I know nowadays they say, oh, but there's technology, you can go manipulate it and everything, but the original footage, there is nothing much that you can get out of it, especially if you did not put in a lot of attention in how you created it. Let's talk about editing, because one of the things that stands out in your content is the editing process. And most people think of editing as, most content creators, me included, we think editing is just so much work. Why do you think people are doing live streams and they're not doing videos? Every single time I'm making noise here at the academy that, guys, why are your videos? Why are you not uploading videos on your channel yet? The money is on the videos. It's like, okay, but I see them on live streams daily. But they draw the line when it comes to videos. Some people have videos, but the videos are sitting on their phones or their cameras. They're like, I've not gotten time to edit. I see them on YouTube streets, like on live streams for like 6 hours. I'm like, you did not have time to edit, huh? But you can be talking on a live stream for like 6 hours. It's like, editing stories. What is your best approach when it comes to editing in such a way that you don't look at it as a form of like a chore or a duty, but rather it can be part of the creative process? I don't know you're getting my point, but because I think most of us, I think that's what usually we struggle with. Like, oh my God, here comes editing a video again. And that's why the moment you start thinking of that footage, you already get tired even before you start editing that video. I don't know how you go about it in your creation journey.
Well, straight up, I feel the same way. I hate editing more than anything on the face of the planet. I would rather do almost anything. I would rather almost anything else happen. not almost anything, but inside of a video space, than to have to edit. I absolutely hate editing. It gives me a headache every time. So I don't know.
You hate editing?
110%. It is.
You hate editing?
It's the wackest part of this entire process. I can't remember what did Keish just say? Sorry, I'm trying to read it on this tiny little baby.
Don't worry. So Keish says editing is a lot.
Yes,
editing is a lot, and then Simone says, "Goga, stop calling us out like that." So you see, they agree. They agree. But Keish is the same person who says, "I would rather edit a video than go live."
Keish would rather do that.
You are the 1%, Keish. You are the 1%. The rest of us here would rather go live than edit a video.
Keish is very shy, but she's getting into her go live bag. So you guys, if you can, support her and just give her a thumbs up when you go see her. But I would say this. The thing about, and I learned this when I started, actually, it's funny how these two things weave together, but when I started publishing books, I learned how fast I didn't just become an author. I became an author. I became a marketer. I became an editor, which is absolute trash because your girl can't edit for nothing. I became a cover artist and all those things. When I turned to doing YouTube videos, it was like, oh, I just want to do a quick video. But it's not about specifically for like a DIY video. Now I have sourced materials. I have come up with the creativity to make something. I'm a videographer now, right? Because I'm shooting it from all the damn angles. And now I've got to edit it too. Like, what in the nonsense? What in the Martin Scorsese? What in the Steven Spielberg is going on here? Like, in most scenarios, and then I also have to market it, right? Because what the heck is
a marketer. Yeah.
So it's absurd what we're all deigning to do. It's absurd. Because if we put the same amount of energy into almost anything else, we would be rich. Like the the absurdity of choosing to do what we have all deigned to do is nonsense. How you know whenever you're talking with another YT creative that you have something in common is that you guys have both agreed to dabble in nonsense. That's what we're doing. We're dabbling in nonsense and mysticism because nobody has the time and almost no one has the skills at first to be able to do any of these things. Yet we consistently attempt to try to do them. But yeah, I do not like editing, but it is a necessary evil. And there's two things that I will say about editing. Now that you've taken your time to shoot this wonderful video that you hopefully have well lit, how do you want that to get? This is how you bring it all into a space to sing that one note that you want the people to understand. When you think about editing your video, always go into it thinking this. Whatever I just did, whatever meal I just made, whatever DIY, whatever journey, travel vlog, whatever, what do I want the people who sit down and watch this to feel? And then you edit your video with that in mind. Because you are controlling a conversation. It's a one-sided conversation when you begin to edit a video. The people who are seeing your video don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about your experience. They don't know if they should be excited or sad or mad or happy or whatever. It's up to you to guide them through that. So sit down and edit thinking about that, okay? Editing. It's giving me a headache just thinking about it right now.
I know, I can tell.
Yeah, make sure you've got a good editing tool. And secondly, and this is probably the biggest part, and I know a lot of people are going to come for me for this, and come away if you want to, but why are you editing on your phone? I can't think of anything, okay, I don't want to edit, but I can't think of anything worse than editing than trying to edit on my phone. Keish can vouch for this. I think Goga saw a quick snapshot of it. Some other people have seen it as well. Maybe Helen and Anastasia, because they were there when I kind of did a little thing about my editing for them, but I edit on a gigantic screen, basically like a 24-inch TV. Like I need to see what I'm doing. I edit using a condenser microphone so that when you hear my voiceovers, they're as crisp as they can be. I have several computers. I've got all sorts of nonsense. Second,
guys, did you have several computers, not one?
Yeah, I mean, I need those. Okay, Goga, I need them. And plus, like I said, my husband runs a successful computer business, so it's a little different for me because when I need something, A-Train just creates it for me and then gives it to me, which is cool. But the other thing is the editing on your phone consistently causes one problem that people tell me all the time. Your phone is not designed to do that. So then when you finish your video, where does that footage go? Oh, let me guess. Because you can't keep it on your phone and still receive those phone calls from your honey or whoever because your phone refuses to work because it's overladen with memory overload, now you had to erase your video. Do you understand how terrible that is? You own this content, no matter where you put it. To my knowledge, you own that content. But when you place that content somewhere else and you do not keep yourself a backed up version of your content, you have just given away your intellectual property until you figure out how to get it back. And it's not easy. A lot of these platforms are not made for you to be able to easily pull your content back down. Okay, so it is your content. If you wanted to take that content and start your own TV channel or do whatever you want to do, you want that content. You have to be backing up your content, whether you're editing on a phone or a computer. I back my content up all the time, every single time. I do not erase my content. It's my content. So when you're doing that on your phone, keep in mind that a phone is not designed to do that. So many of you, be for real, y'all ain't gonna want to be honest, but y'all deleted all y'all stuff, didn't you? All of your intellectual property is gone, isn't it?
Why you annoying us? Why you annoying us on the? Why are you calling us out? Kisha is speaking out. Kisha is speaking on my behalf and others. Why are you calling us out on? Yeah, we be okay. Can you carry on with the answer? we've had that part of backup.
Back it up. Get yourself a device some sort of way to be able to back up your content. And I'm sorry, Goga, shame on you, Goga, because I thought surely you were backing yourself up. Surely you were.
Carry on. Move on very fast from that answer. We got it.
I'm not sure. You guys put in the comments if this is reasonable. Here we are. We always come to the Church of Goga to try to get intel and information. Then we come to find out that information's not even backed up. Goga's just out here wild, fancy, free.
I mean, it's there's a lot of space on the phone and stuff, and yeah.
I bego. I just learned that today. I bego. Come on. I don't even know if I'm using that word. I'm trying stuff, okay? You guys don't come for me. I like the way it sounds. I bego. Back your stuff up. If you learn, if there's nothing that you guys get from this, what I'm sure is going to be a lengthy conversation, 2 things: light your content. Don't have that looking like it's in a basement, and back your content up. You own it. If you want to own your content and you don't want to arm wrestle YT or whomever to get it back your content up. It's yours. You own it. Make sure you understand that. It's yours. You own it. But if you send it to somebody else's house with no intention of ever coming back to get it, that's on you. Back your content up, please, and light it for the love of all things good and sacred in the world. What's going on here?
Shelly loves your drinking mug.
You guys, this is one of my favorites.
Wow! Wait! Let me put it on full layout so that we see. Wow! There's like a lot of gold and stuff going on there. That is so fancy.
It's brass knuckles, Goga.
What?
This was a 10-year wedding anniversary gift from my husband because he knows his wife.
Dear husbands and dear wives, if you know us very well, these are the kind of gifts you need to be having on our YouTube channels. We are just saying, if you're watching in the background.
It's on my Amazon storefront. If anybody is interested, it is listed on my Amazon storefront, which is linked on my main channel. So
Aaron is so happy on the chat. Aaron is just smiling, for the shout out and everything. And even Andrea says, I love the mug as well.
Thank you.
Guys, that's your plug. Shelly, thanks so much for that observation. So we talk about, so I like the conversations around lighting. I like the conversations around backup. Kisha is saying, Goga, she's the real ninja. She's ready to take it to your head, even with a nice drink.
Oh no.
That's so funny. Let's talk about the kind of software you use, because I know people struggle also with the kind of software you use to edit. Do you pay for your software, or do you use like a freely available software when it comes to edit?
Great question. And I as always, whenever you ask me a question, it's got like layers for me. So I do pay for my software, and my software is pretty much the only thing I pay for. I want to be clear about this, you guys. I know that the desire as a content creator is to put as much investment in what you're doing, specifically monetary investment, as you humanly possibly can, so that you have the best possible chance. Not a bad thing, but you want to make sure that you're balancing it with what you make. If it is indeed a business, I hold an LLC for my channels, so in the umbrella of my business. So I consider this a business, right? How businesses are defined, I shouldn't say this because that's not true, but how I define a business, let me be clear about that, is that a business makes money. It's not a charity. It makes money. Here's what's clear. Businesses have to operate based on some sort of an understanding. The truth is that you should not be spending more. This is just my personal opinion. More than 33% of what you make shouldn't be spent outside of that shouldn't be spent to go back into your business. And I said that in the weirdest way possible. 33% of what you make should go back into your business, but the rest should not. But many of us, I can see people doing this, are at 300% or 400% of what their business actually makes. That's not reasonable. I do think that it's important to start off with some basic equipment so that you can get the best version of what you need. But past that, you can't be paying for all of these monthly subscriptions on all these places when you yourself are pulling in $23 and they want $24.99 a month. That's not reasonable. So I'm just simply asking all of us to really think about whether or not it's a business or it's a really, really expensive hobby. Because it's got to be one or the two. It's got to be one or the other. So
Guys, I love BOK. Now she's so direct. She does not like beat around the bush. She just tells it to your face as it is. I totally love that. Like it's so that's why it's coming out like so. Guys, you're not being called out. She's speaking the truth, because I feel like she has a point there, because it's not a business. It's not like a hope. It's not like it's a business in the sense that it has to. There's even when you get into the YouTube partner program, it's a business arrangement. It's a
right.
business arrangement technically. So I feel called out on the expensive hobby part, because if the expensive hobby is not bringing in the money and you're spending over 300%, what are you doing?
Well, I think what you're doing is exactly probably what's being asked of you, which is to give
Yeah.
everything you've got and then dig back in your pocket and give some more. But and I understand it. It's so easy. That's how they set it up. It's the same as an author. Everybody's got their hand out. I mean, as soon as you deign to do something in the space, that misnomer of you've got to spend money to make money, the idea that if you work hard, you'll get what you want. All of these things are designed to make you or to compel you to do certain things that may or may not actually have the outcomes that they said that they would on the brochure. And I think it's important to acknowledge that and be honest about that. But anywho, to head back to your original question, I do pay for my editing software. I bought CapCut before CapCut raised their price. So I spent, I think, roughly $100 on CapCut for a year. And that is the editing tool that I do use now. Prior to that, I used Clipchamp. And I liked Clipchamp because Clipchamp, as well as CapCut, keep this in mind, you guys, has a totally free version of itself that you can utilize on their platform. Will you get every single editing feature that you want? No. Will you be able to edit a good video on their free platform? Yes, you will. So again, if you are a smaller YouTuber or you're not somebody who wants to spend your money in that space, there are plenty of editing tools out there that are free. Now, are you going to be able to like make fireworks come out of the side of your head and like balloons pop out of your mouth when you talk? Maybe not. Is that important for your video? Probably not. So again, keep in mind that there are freebies out there. So anyway, I do edit with CapCut. And when I stream, I do not use StreamYard. Sorry, StreamYard. Because they're incredibly expensive to me for how I would want to use it, right? I use something called OBS, which is free. It's an open source program, if you will, or interface. And I love how it works specifically for live streaming. If you're a person who has several videos and you want to do something like a live stream that feels almost like a TV channel, it allows you to go in and create playlists and kind of shuffle your videos. And it's a very, very smooth interface. You can do overlays, like you can put your logo up on all of your videos, change it a little bit so that you don't get popped for reused content. You got all sorts of things that you can do inside that space, and it's 100% and totally free. Yay. We love that, right? So OBS is the one that I choose to use for streaming. If I'm not using, whoa, did my ring I lost a ring, y'all. But that's what I choose to use when I am not streaming just directly from YouTube.
Wow. Rebecca Le Prince is excited to see you. Welcome, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Yeah, Simone says, thank you so much for that information. Be okay. Yes, that's very important because I wanted that just to like give you ideas of what she like uses. I use Clipchamp. So I was so fast. I got excited when you mentioned I use Clipchamp, but yes, it does have its weaknesses, and now they are forcing me to get a Microsoft account to continue using them. Yeah, because I'm obsessed with Clipchamp. But you're right, it does have its own. Cloud Diesel, who is a gamer, uses OBS. So I think he's getting so excited because he found you just talking about OBS when you walked in. So Diesel, nice to see you. We have some 2 questions here that are coming through on the chat. Shelly is asking you, how do you feel about CapCut's new updates?
You know, I feel like this. I don't think you need to update as often as you change your draws, but CapCut seems to think that they do. CapCut literally updates once a day. I feel like I'm like, what did you do? Why did you need to do it? Like, I'm not sure even what they're doing. Every time they update, it's like they forget who I am. It's like that old auntie. They're like, "It's you, it's Bobby," and you're like, "No, it's not Bobby. It's just me." They're confusing my fonts. There's a lot of strange that goes on there, and I think it's because they're trying to literally do the most. That's how I feel about CapCut's updates.
Okay. And then East African Workout Girl wants you to comment about Canva. And yeah, I was going to ask that because I was going to, yeah, Canva, do you use Canva in a sense? And how do you make your thumbnails? Because your thumbnails are also so good. They stand out.
I will take that from you. But I hate making thumbnails almost as much as I hate editing. But my thumbnails are what I use actually a combination of things to make my thumbnails. And this is going to sound incredibly complex. I use clips from my edited video, right? So I pull clips, I do freeze frame in CapCut, and pull those frames out. I reduce the noise on them, adjust the whatever, adjust the colors and all that good stuff. And then I basically take a clip of that and then I put it into a Canva template. I do use Canva for my thumbnails. And then I take the whole dang thing and then I put it into PowerPoint so that it comes down to the right size and I can adjust a couple things. And then I save it as a JPEG and then that's what gets uploaded. So it's kind of a convoluted process, but that's how I do it.
No, I love that idea of the PowerPoint thing. just to get the aspect ratio right and everything. Otherwise, it will be looking weird with these black lines and things like that.
That's how I used to edit my videos. If you want to be for real, if anybody wants to go to my BOK Media Life channel and go all the way back in the day, those videos were edited using PowerPoint because I used to do training modules for a living. I still do. Yeah. And how I used to create those training modules was with PowerPoint. And that was the only video editing software that I knew. So when I first started doing my videos, I was using PowerPoint, which is actually free if you have the Microsoft Office suite. And you can make videos. And there are features and all sorts of stuff inside of PowerPoint. So don't sleep on PowerPoint.
Absolutely. Don't sleep on it. Absolutely. Aaron is just talking about OBS Studio, and you have a question there on the chat. So Title Pro is saying, I've looked into OBS, but it looks very complicated. Can you please give us a tutorial video? Be okay? I think Title Pro is speaking on behalf of all of us. I tried OBS once. I'm still stuck. I don't know now to add my cameras and things. But I'm still learning. I'm trying to learn it because my StreamYard will come. When my StreamYard subscription comes to an end, I will have to look for alternatives.
Yeah, I mean, what I would probably do is go do something like a live for you guys so that we could be interactive and you can ask me questions. Because I feel like as I'm training, I really want to be able to read the room and understand what you guys need so that I'm not just talking senselessly about what makes sense to me. I want to have it be focused for your needs. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll set up a live stream or something and we can do that. Or maybe it can be, another one of those wonderful Goga sessions where we all learn so much. Maybe we could do that through there too.
Yes. So yeah, we'll be coming to that class and I'll be one of them. And then Jay Van says, OBS is cool. Jay Van. Shh.
It is.
We really need help in the class. We need help in the class. Okay. And then Rebecca Mlepin says, wow, be okay with the toy toilet. Transformed it into check it out. Okay, Rebecca has watched one of your videos.
Oh, I love it. Rebecca is such a beautiful woman to be coming in chit-chatting about my toilet toy from my Dollar Tree video walkthrough I just did.
Nice. You have a question here by Jay. Jay is asking you, how can I do verticals I think I've seen you do vertical live streams on OBS, right?
You just have to resize it. Jay, you have to resize the aspect ratio. I think it's 1080. So 1080 needs to be the first one. And then what is it? Is it 1920, babe?
Yeah.
So you have to transpose it. You go into settings. It's kind of a process, but not really. And then once it gets there and you drop your video in, once you drop your media in, you just have to do the transform and do fit to screen, and it should be fine. It probably sounded like a lot for those of you who don't know OBS, but Jay, if you're already using it, you might know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, hit me up on InstaJ and I'll walk you through it. I'm more than happy all the time to share what I know. Again, each one teach one, each one reach one. So if I can help, let me know how. Whoa, Did you just stop talking, Goga? I can see your lips moving, but I hear no sound.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I muted a bit.
Okay, I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm like, yeah, guess there's a time I think I discussed some receipts and said, Goga can read your lips. I think it was Rebecca who said it. Goga can read your lips. Anyway, as I was saying, guys, if you don't know already, so today we are joined by BOK Media Live, also the owner of BOK Media Food Freaks. The live stream is also happening on BOK Media Food Freaks. We are trying to get that channel to get the watch hours. So click on the pinned link; it will take you to the live stream on the other side. Please go and watch the stream from there so that you can get those David Ant is saying, okay, I don't see any okra videos on BOK on BOK Media. Really, David? Really?
David,
Okay.
I absolutely hate okra unless it's fried. But hey, maybe I'll fry some okra on the channel and let you see it.
Wait. The most important thing was unless. Can you like emphasize on the unless the way you said the way you emphasize on hate?
No, okra. I mean, obviously being married to a half Nigerian man. What is that? Is it a goosey soup? I don't even know. I can't even pronounce it right. But whatever it is, it's slimy and it's nonsense, and I cannot abide by that. What I can abide by is fried okra, and I make a really good okra and pork stew that is not slimy. I'm okay with okra when it's not slimy, but when it gets, I can't do it. Sorry. So I understand, David. I stand with you on this.
That's right. But if it is fried, you eat it, right? That's
of course.
like. Okay, good. Thank you, David. It's this one is a gray area. I don't know who won this contest, but we'll see. Travel Things with Kira is asking, how do you balance creativity and consistency with running both channels? That is a very beautiful question.
Okay,
from
my girl
Kyra.
Kira. I love it.
Yeah.
That's my girl Kira. And of course, she'd be coming in from Travel Things. She also has another channel too, which is Simply Miss Kira, where she tries on clothes, and it's just awesome to watch. But anywho, of course, she would come in with the best question ever. How do you balance creativity and consistency running both channels? Okay, Kira, you already noticed. I have a gigantic dry erase board, and I plan and plot out all of my videos for both channels, including on the days that I drop shorts and on the days that I go live. I usually do that at the beginning of the month. I know it sounds crazy, but I do it at the beginning of the month. Every month I start my dry erase board over again, and I plot it out. Again, I leave space for things that might come up. But mostly, I think you've got to plan for it. It's a lot. It's a lot to balance two channels. So having that space where I've already laid down my thoughts on it well in advance is what really makes it work for me. If I wasn't doing that, I'm not sure if I would be able to do it, to do it well, if that makes sense. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I love that. Yeah. So yeah, but I like. I think we may need to get to maybe just briefly explain to us this board thing, because I like the concept, and I did get a glimpse of it yesterday when you were having the preparatory call. To somebody who's thinking of having this board, like just to map out. I've been doing it a lot because of this challenge that I gave the community to like support 5 people a day. And that board concept, I think finally I got it, because I was like, oh, this is actually like a board of all the people I'm supporting in the month of June. How do you ideate a board in case somebody here is struggling? And I know there's an Natecho who is having like 2 channels that are all monetized, and it's giving her a nightmare as well. In case somebody is thinking of having like this board, what would be like your tips for somebody to create this kind of board just to help them balance?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I love the board that I'm using. First off, make it big. If you're doing 2 channels, don't have one of them teeny tiny boards where you're just trying to write it in just and you can barely see it. Everything needs to be nice. Everything needs to be visible. You have to be able to look at it and see it on a glance, right? The other thing I do is it's obviously a dry erase board. So I have color coordination. Again, helps me to understand and just look at it at a glance and see it. The idea behind the board is it's supposed to make your life easier, not be something else that's more complicated, right? And I think the key with the board is less is more, right? So think about what absolutely needs to be there, but do not put extraneous nonsense in it. I'm glad that my board has a little space over to the side of the kind of days of the week where I can put notes down, right? Things like, oh, I'm going to be on Goga's Sunday service. Don't forget that, because otherwise I would have. Things like, buy more tumbling tower blocks, because I use a lot of that. I have space to do that, but you don't want to fill your actual board with that, because what needs to be on that board, what's on my board, is stuff like DIY video, live, cooking, live, critter cam, things like that are just simple, easy understandings of what it is that I'm doing. It helps me develop my programming. It helps me make sure also that I have balance, right? I don't want to have a board filled with critter cam, and I don't want to have a board filled with lives, because as Goga already told us, that's not how you grow your channel. It is how you grow your channel, but it is not how you grow your channel in authentic users, perhaps. And so you want to make sure you're balancing that out in real videos, in full length horizontal videos, as well as mixing in shorts, as well as mixing in lives, blah, blah, blah. So having that board helps me keep that balance as well. But again, less is more. Stick with the top layer of what you need to have there, so that you can see it at a glance, color coordinate it, and have a little bit of space on your board to put notes that are relevant to that month and what you're trying to get done inside of it. That's what works for me.
Nice. And I think Rebecca Prince is complimenting that organization. Yes, she talked about it, that she's structured as a content creator. The next question you're being asked, this now I only say Tribe Goga and receipts. Be okay. Question: are you always working with somebody? Because I always hear an amazing male voice over your video. Seriously?
Is that you, baby pants?
I hope so.
I hope so. No, sometimes when you're gone, babe, somebody else shows up. I don't know who it is. No, it's my husband, A-Train. And Rebecca already knows that, but Rebecca trying to, I see what you want to do. But yeah, no, that's A-Train.
She's that person.
Yeah. I love that about Rebecca, though. She's both beautiful, witty, and she knows how to throw down something. So I love it.
So, Rebecca, you've been answered. Yes, she does have. She does have help. And then Kisha is going to cook, but she's watching us on both our channels, and she says, "David, you can't win. You can't win with this okra, especially with women who are married to African men. LOL. Yo, shots fired right there. Shots fired right there. Okay. Kish is asking a question that I was going to ask you next, in terms of what do you do when you are low on creative ideas?
Woo.
That's a strong one.
It's weird for me because it's rare that I get low, but when I do, I find it most important to do stuff like take walks. I know it sounds really dumb, but like, for me, and this is one of the things I even like about our critter cam, watching nature, being out inside of it, which is one of the things I love about Keisha, not my girl Keisha the stylist, but your Keisha Goga.
My Keisha, yeah.
She does really beautiful nature videos. She has a very pleasant voice. And one of the things that I like is, I feel like that's where you go sometimes to get into the well of creativity, because it's someplace that just fills you, period. I feel like creativity is something that does require energy that comes from the pit of you. And if that pit is low, you're going to have yourself a time. So the key is not so much to figure out ways to be more creative, but figure out ways to make sure that that pit is full. Fill it with the things that you love. Fill it with the things that bring you peace. Fill it with the things that inspire you, that give you energy, because then when you go to pull out that creativity, there'll be something there in that bank. But if you don't put anything in that in your energy bank, I should say, you're not going to have creativity. Oh, Lord, my battery done went low, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. No, it's all good. We got so many backup power sources in this house. It's not even a joke. So we are going to do that. Quick question, Goga. Is it okay if I take a half a second break while you chit chat with the peeps?
By all means, take your break. Take your break. I will hide the things that have been fixed.
I will be right back.
All right, guys, as we take a quick commercial break, allow me to acknowledge the blessing that I just got from East African Workout Girl. East African, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. Thanks so much for that. Super. It just reminded me I did not set my goals again. I always forget about these things. This is for you. your pot brings in abundance. Thank you so much for the offering. Thank you so much for the Sunday. Thank you so much for the Sunday service offering. And guys, I love the questions you guys are asking. I love the comments. Feel free to drop them on the chat. I will give be okay. I will give them to be okay, and you can see the way she's very quick at answering them. If you have any question you want to ask about her authorship, because she's a published author, about her 2 channels, make sure you can ask on the live stream. I'll be able to see them. Whether you ask on her channel or on my channel, I'm able to see all the chats across both streams. So please feel free to ask those questions there. Leave those comments, and that I'll be able to place them before her for her thoughts. Another thing, guys, we are on a mission here. So if you have not yet connected to Be Okay Media Live, jump over on that other live stream that is happening. Jump there on that other live stream that is happening. Give your support. Give us a thumbs up there and stay there, because she's working so hard for the WH. She's working so hard for the WH. And please connect to her as well. She appreciates people who connect to her and people who watch a video and leave her a comment. We are on a mission also to get that channel to 700. It only needs, I think, about 10 or so houses. So if you have not connected to her, please leave that nice comment on one of her shorts. She does amazing shorts, by the way. She does amazing shorts. So please connect to both those channels. There's Be Okay Media Live and there's Be Okay Media Food Freaks. In case you're wondering what those channels look like, this is the main house. The Be Okay Media Live looks like this. This is the main house, and then the Be Okay Media Food Freaks looks like this. They all have like literally the same name, so it's actually very easy to differentiate between them. The design, the artistic design almost the same, but the channel names are definitely very, very different. And they are all very searchable. 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 Okay, so make sure you are part of that conversation and then ask your questions. I'll be able to highlight them on the chat. Watch Queen Cookie, nice to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. I know my moderators have done an amazing job welcoming people. I know sometimes when I'm at the Sunday service, I can't keep up with the chats, but thank you so much. Destiny's Reality, nice to see you, sister. How have you been? Destiny, I think I'm connected to your house. The other day I was there in your house, and it was nice seeing the things you're doing there on the channel. Ola just says, Kyra, I must do these things from time to time. All right. Kyra, I think you guys can see your own chats. I normally don't read chats when people are talking to each other because it's not my business. I try to read messages that are meant to me. Messages that are meant for me. Those are the messages I read. If they're not meant for me, I will just ignore. Unless you want me to shout something, then I will shout. Okay. Right. So as we wait for Be Okay to get back, feel free to drop those questions on the chat. In case you have any ideas about editing, content creation, those kind of questions, ask away, because it's important. It's important because learn from somebody who's doing something that is working for their channel, and then tap into that creative spirit. One of the most important things that I wanted to suggest, this live stream is titled Awakening the Artist in You and Creating Unapologetically. Tapping into your creative spirit to create content without any apologies. And that is literally the whole conversation around it. And you can already tell that is the theme that is emerging when we start talking, with Be Okay. Welcome back, Be Okay. Thanks so much for buying me time to yap. Welcome, people. Patila, nice to see you. Jimmy Barnes, welcome, Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy Barnes, thank you so much for that. Yeah. JB. Oh, I thought it was. I also have a JD. You know, you have JB. I have JD.
Yeah.
It seems like we have twins across both channels. You have Nakisha. I have Akisha. You have a JB. I have JD. You don't have a Helen though, but we can.
Oh, I do have a Helen. That's my aunt.
Oh, wait.
Time she's in my chat. Plus, it's not really your Helen. It's kind of like my Helen. Are we talking about Helen and Koya? Because that's my Helen.
No, it's kind of our Helen. Helen, look at us talking about you. And thank you so much, guys, for the support. I like the questions that are coming through on the chat. A few compliments here for you. Crossdale, nice to see you, brother. Crossdale, aren't you supposed to be in church? There are people who are watching us from church. Guys, I shall not get into problems with your pastors or your priests. David Dant, go back to, David Dant is like a musical person in church. He's supposed to actually be in church and he's busy here asking about okra. Crossdale is also supposed to be in church. There are some men I normally know they're supposed to be in church around this time. I don't know what they're doing at the Sunday service. I don't know what they're doing at the Sunday service. I don't know how they got time to be at the Sunday service. Yeah. Okay. So Rebecca was saying, I'm in love with your short. Be okay. And that I think I will ask a follow-up question shortly on that. And then Kanini says, content creation really needs commitment. Absolutely, it's not easy. It's not easy. And then Rebecca Lepin saying that you're super organized. I think that was also a compliment that came in. And then Kyra was saying, I was gonna say it doesn't seem like you ever get low on ideas. You are brilliant. Well, I like how it came out, and she said for her she just needs to go and get a reset and things, and that was, I think, very beautiful. Let me say that I missed anything else on the chat. Bev Artist Kitchen, thank you so much for coming in, and yeah, guys, thank you so much, guys, for connecting and also getting to know each other. Thank you so much for also getting to know each other. Be okay. Another question I'm going to ask you, because I know we've really talked a lot about creativity, and I think that question that was asked about whether getting low on creative ideas are some of the things I was going to ask you in terms of the creative blocks that you have to face anytime you are doing content creation. But you're also one person who comes off as very bold in terms of your creativity. You are one person you say it as you say it as it is. You are not like you're not beating around the bush, and it comes to also like articulating your opinion. Perhaps it's from your authorship, and perhaps even from just how you are as a person. Have you ever felt pressured in any way to, like, let's say, play it safe when it comes to your creativity? Because I know sometimes, especially in spaces such as YouTube, where we have to sometimes tone down our creativity. I know your content will not in any way ruffle feathers with YouTube, the YouTube guys, but how do you stay true to your voice as a content creator, especially in a space that sometimes thrives on don't rock the boat, don't ruffle feathers, things like that?
Yeah, I feel like that's a great question. I feel like here's the thing. Like most artists we're always having to kind of find a balance, right? Art is a personal process. Again, as I stated in the beginning, it's kind of your interpretation of what life or the experience that you were having is, and then you're trying to regurgitate it back, right? And that's the place where you begin to have an interaction with other people, their thoughts, their opinions, their needs. If you're doing it again for a business, it's important that you do take into account other people's thoughts and needs. It doesn't mean that it affects, or it should not be affecting your interpretation or how you're choosing to display it, but it does have to be an element of consideration, right? Mostly because you're not watching your own videos. I mean, you are, but you're not getting to where you're trying to go to watching your own videos. You're not eating your own cookies. Well, you are, but do you want to sell those cookies? Because if you want to sell those cookies, you have to be at least somewhat considerate to the people who eat cookies. And so I think that's what's important to note is, like, if you're making art for art's sake, it doesn't matter what it is, right? You could just, put a turd on a towel and take a picture of it and call it good. But if you're actually trying to do something that has to be palatable to the masses or to the audience that you're trying to deliver it to, you do need to be aware of who that audience is, and you do have to be kind and generous to their needs. And I think that's the key is, like, you're going to do you, but you got to do you if you're trying to sell you inside of a box that includes other people's opinions, at least somewhat. And I think the balance is just whichever one you strike that makes you still feel okay about creating. And that's going to be a different place for everybody. That barometer is going to be different for Goga than it is for me, than it is for you guys. Some people might just be like, oh, okay, I'm cool with taking it all the way to the edge to make as much money as I humanly possibly can. And some people might say, I'm not going to make a lot of money. I'm not going to see a lot of people, but this is closer to my vision and I have to keep it there. Everybody's going to have to decide where that space is themselves.
I like that. Most people sometimes separate, serious art from lifestyle content. As I know, sometimes in places like YouTube, we share our lifestyle content, and some people even start sneering when we call our work art. How do you view DIY or even cooking? Because now even what you're doing on BOK Media Food Freaks, that is also art in itself. So how do you view DIY and cooking as legitimate forms of artistic expression? Maybe to somebody who's like, no, I kind of expected you to be drawing something, or I kind of expected you to be sculpturing some statue or things like that. So how do we How do you make people understand that this is actually like a form of expression artistically?
Yeah, I mean, again, as somebody who's always been art-minded and who was raised in an art-minded environment, the interpretation to me of art is vast. I said this once to my cousin who has 4 beautiful children that she's raising and homeschooling herself, that it's a form of art. It's intentionality. She has an understanding of what she believes the representation of this life to be. She has corralled that inside of herself, and then within her children, she is displaying it out for us all to see. To me, that is the equation of art. It is my experience, my interpretation of it, and my desire to regurgitate that back in some form that is tangible or whatever. Or I guess I battle with whether or not writing or storytelling, for instance, is technically tangible, but it's also intangible. So anyway, let me not get off the point. The point simply is this. It's the regurgitation of your experience. And that, to me, includes so many things. So is this art? You best believe it is, because every person making a video on this platform is choosing to take what they believe or what they see and their interpretation of that and try to deliver it all to us, right? So is there higher versions of art or lower versions of art? I don't know about that. It's just all art, because we're all attempting to do that.
I love that, because for me, I think I interpret any, and that's always even tell somebody who's getting onto YouTube even for the first time. That first video that you decided to share with the world, that was your artistic form of expression, and you should always like appreciate it, because you could have just sat in your corner and said, "What is YouTube? I'm just going to consume the content." But you created something that you shared with the world, and that right there becomes that there becomes like your own form of expression. We have a very beautiful question that's going to be informed by what I was going to project next. On BOK Media Live, something happened 9 months ago on one of your videos. I know you're looking shocked. Like, yep, yeah. Of course, I have to set up drama. BOK. I have to like I have to make it dramatic so that it looks like I'm about to ask you something very serious and stuff. So on BOK Media Live, let me just go down. These videos, something happened on a video here. I don't know if it's the thumbnail. What did you do on your channel? And the reason I'm asking this is because I've looked at your oldest videos, and then something changed. Something changed somewhere in there, like a year ago, in terms of how you approached your video making process. How did your videos get to do this well? There's a video there that has over 40K, and 40K when to an outsider who is looking at this video, 40K views times 32 minutes. 1K, we make $2 for every 1,000 views, so you should be rich. And then there's a second video there, there's a third video there. The views were like viewing. Let's talk about what inspired these videos, and why did the algorithm push these videos aggressively? What was the magic in BOK Media Live that happened 1 year ago in these videos?
Oh, I was waiting for the person who had the answer for that question to come up on the panel here, because it's not me. I have absolutely no idea. And you and I discussed this a little bit when we chatted yesterday. And yes, I guess this is going to segue into this part of the conversation. I have absolutely no idea. And for people who have been watching my channel from the beginning, and I won't say in the beginning, because in the beginning, as I said, I was making videos on PowerPoint. But for people who've been watching my channel, in my personal opinion, I put the exact same amount of energy, especially for the last probably solid year and a half, into every video that I do. I have absolutely no idea why one video has 42,000 views and one has, 400. I have never been able to figure that out. I wish I had some intel for you guys. I do not. What I do have intel on is this. I have seen CPM swings, and if you are a part of the monetization program, you will understand what I'm saying when I say CPM. And if you're not, you should familiarize yourself with it. I'm sure Goga has a video.
Yeah. CPM, RPM.
Yeah. But I have seen CPMs literally as high as $72. I had a video that I did, speaking of which, it was a unboxing video that I did for a mystery box that I purchased from Keisha Stylist. And I don't know if fashion content just does better, but that had a $72 CPM. I didn't get a taste of that $72 because that video didn't do well. But on the video in question that Goga is pointing out from 9 months ago, and that series of videos that did really, really well, I think the CPM for all of those on average was in the $40 range. So it was $40 to $44 per allegedly 1,000 views. And I say allegedly because that math is not that math.
I was actually going to ask, like, wait, what, did you say 40?
44. $44 per.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 72, the video that I did, if you guys haven't seen it, check out the unboxing video. Plus it's a chance to see me model those clothes. But that video had a CPM of 72. The number 7, well, I'm not even holding up the right amount of fingers. The number 7 and the number 2. That's how many apparent dollars I was supposed to get per 1,000. All right. And usually my CPMs are pretty dang high. That being said, and I don't have a problem saying this because I feel like sometimes the transparency is not here on the platform. And so people get confused about what the journey is like. And then the disappointment hits and they're standing around going, well, nobody said anything. As Goga likes to say, a lot of times on this platform, we like to flex. We do. Everybody wants to flex. Everybody wants to be seen. And that is not a problem. But it's not always fair to the people who are coming up. On that video that got 42 or is on its way to 42,000 views, I made a grand total of $500 US. That's it. Now run that math. Because
this is purely on ad revenue.
This is purely on ad revenue.
Yeah.
Wow. I made in the entirety of that time, it's about 9 months old, $500 US. And I think that's important to note because none of us have to be mathematicians to understand that if the CPM was $44 per 1,000, that is not, the math is not mathing.
It's not mathing at all.
And that's because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, which is why it's so important, specifically the video that Goga just did that I was working but lurking in about the buy me coffee and the other forms of getting revenue are so important because truth be told, the average person that you're seeing here, no matter what kind of views they're getting, because 42,000 views is a lot of views for my tiny little baby channel. But you couldn't live off of that. I don't even know if that bought me all the damn tumbling tower blocks that I used in the last year. It's not a lot. And if you're buying software and you're paying for editing and all sorts of stuff, it's not a heck of a lot of money. So realistically, you are going to have to diversify your streams. And again, that's why it was so important to watch the Goga video. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely go back and rewatch it because the Buy Me Coffee should be on your video whether or not you're monetized or not. Whether or not you're a channel that's monetized or not, you should still be utilizing the Buy Me Coffee because it's a way to produce revenue outside of just that ad space. So
I saw somebody from your community. I got excited. Smiles and Stories. I love the name. Smiles and Stories. So I was getting distracted there. I mean, and I totally agree with you on this point because most people, I think sometimes you are so fascinated with the views, but I was so shocked when you told me that yesterday because I was like, when you do mathematics and we always say, oh, if your CPM is like, even let's go with the 44. If your CPM is like 44 US, and the video has 20,000 views, geez, that video should have gotten like a whole lot of like money. And this is just ad revenue. I am schooled. And that's why I think not everything that glitters on the streets is gold. But it was a very nice because that series of videos like it's amazing how the algorithm was pushing them out. But for me, I think my theory is also the thumbnails are really on point during that season. The thumbnails like really look really on point. So probably it's really helped the impressions. I'm very curious about what you see on your analytics, especially the impressions part of things, because I know if a thumbnail is like really good, and I can tell you spend so much time on your thumbnail as much as you hate doing them. You do spend a lot of time on your thumbnails because I don't think I've seen any picture that just looks random on your videos, even on even on me, even on BOK Media Food Freaks. I think there's a conversation there about thumbnails and just taking time to just also just improve that if that is what is going to help the algorithm. Um, a few comments coming in there, just people just getting fascinated over that. Kisha says, "I appreciate your transparency." Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you too. Thank you too for that. I think that's very important because somebody may be thinking that, wow, POK has put. Somebody may be thinking that she should be having like some millions in this video. I totally agree. I totally agree. I totally agree. And then Kyra was asking you, what video are you most proud of so far, and what made it special to you?
Yeah. Let me if it's okay, Goga, leave that one up. But can I say one thing on the same conversation with
Sure.
that video? Two things. One, the video that has 42,000 views, I don't even understand that thumbnail. I feel like that's the worst thumbnail I've ever made. It's not legible. When I think about thumbnails, I always ask Erin this. We put it up on the big screen and I go, walk in from the kitchen and can you read it? And that to me, I cannot read that from the kitchen. I don't even know what kind of hieroglyphs that is. That looks like the worst freaking picture bind thumbnail I've ever seen. I don't, when people ask me about that video, I literally do not know how that video got 42. There's so many great videos that I have done. That to me, I don't know. And in terms of, and you kind of dabbled on this too, Goga, in terms of my analytics, that's the kind of thing that is always really confusing to me as well, because usually my impressions are within the 50-60% range. People they watch my videos about 50-60% of the way through. I feel like the connection is good, but sometimes they just stall out. These are all questions I'm sure you get all the time. But realistically, I have no idea under any circumstances why those videos did well, or why any video does well. What I can say, and I think this is important because I didn't say that to discourage anyone here from getting where they're trying to go. I just think that you have to use a different ruler for what you're doing. The things I do because I'm passionate about them, and I'm trying to pay for my dreams with that passion. If you are expecting like the success that you're seeking is something that you need a cosign on the world from, good luck with that. Because the world is not interested in any way, shape, or form of providing you with anything that you want or need. That cannot be what it is about. If that is all that it is about, good luck. I hope that you're ready to do a bunch of really unsavory business to get yourself there, because that's what the world requires from you in a lot of ways, in a lot of senses, and especially on these platforms. You have to find a way that the resources, because keep in mind, again, resources, not just money, it's time, it's energy, it's all of those things. You have to find a way to be able to derive other beneficial resources out of you performing your art that don't just include what society is going to pay you or what these people are going to pay you. They're not in the business of paying you. Furthermore, I would venture to say that they're in the business of not paying you, because you just heard the math. It doesn't make any sense. So you have to understand that that's not what it can be about. You have to find other ways. We have other businesses that connect. We do other sorts of things. You're going to want to find that, and you're going to have to keep the way that you keep going is going to have to be something not connected to money, or you're going to have a rough one. So I just wanted to make sure I said that, you guys, because I didn't want to discourage anybody by being honest, because now you're like, oh my God, if I get 42 dang thousand views, I'm still going to be broke. Yes, you were still going to be broke, but you'll have lived out your art and your purpose, right?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I had to laugh while I said that. What was Kira's question way back when? I missed everything.
No, don't worry. People actually just agreeing with that, and I think I like what Aaron says. Aaron says the world is set up to be extractive. Be aware.
Yes.
And be okay. I think I like how you just circled back to the conversation around buy me a coffee, because I keep telling people that when we joined YouTube, when you joined YouTube, that was the best and raw version of you as a creator before the money thing set in, because
Right.
you did not have the subscribers, you did not have the watch hours. Most likely, you did not even know you needed all those things. Like me being one of them. Like I never, like what do you mean watch hours? Like what is that? What do you mean? wait, what? I need to get like 1,000, then I'll make money. Most likely you did not even know that that stuff until you got into the space and you're like, oh wow, people are getting money. Huh. And then somewhere along the line there, you start even shifting your creative journey into, I need to get the watch hours. I need to get the watch hours, until you forget the passion aspect. And I think I like the fact that you really brought that out very clearly, because I think most of us normally like lose that sight of that. The question was by hold on, let me just get it. Let me just pull it and put a star on it. The question was by Kyra. Kyra was asking, what video are you most proud of so far, and what made it special to you?
Whew. Kira. My girl Kira is always going to try best questions. Honestly, so far, I think the very first video that I had that really took off was the lamp video. And I think it was the second video on that scroll down list, next to the one with the the silly thumbnail that somehow got 42,000 people look at it. So the second one in there, yes. I'm freakishly proud of that, and I'll tell you why. Anybody who knows me at this point knows that your girl loves to make lamps. I do. I love my crafting bestie Joy from Joyful Designs said that I will make a lamp out of anything, and it is 100% true. I love making lamps. We have like 5 lamps in every room. I've made my dad's lamp. And
you are one of those.
I love lamps. I can't help it. I love it because the way that a room is lit, again, you guys, how you light a space determines to me how you feel and how everything in the space looks. I love lamps. And to me, that was the very first video that really, I felt like I did, as my girl Anna would say, I did my big one in. I thought the editing was pretty good for the time. I was shooting on an entirely different phone. I thought the thumbnail was really good. I loved every lamp that I made in that video. It got up to like 26,000 views in like the very first week. And at that time, I had not even come anywhere close to a video like that. So it was a very, very big deal to me. But the thing that made that video the coolest was my brother. My brother called me, like, I think it was just hours after I dropped it. My brother's very busy. And he called me and he was like, man, that was a really nice video. And I was like, what? I was like, my big brother is out here looking at me make lamps. He was like, I scrolled. He was like, I scrolled. I saw the thumbnail. And he was like, I was midway through and I realized it was you. He was like,
no way. Wait, like you did not even know like it was your video and he was watching.
And he's not that kind of person. I mean, he doesn't, that's not his particular type of content. That's not what is in his feed. So it's the thing that made me feel like, and then right after when he first said that to me, I only had like 123 views at that time. But then as the week progressed, it just kept going until it stopped at 26. I think that's where it actually stopped because I don't think it went much further than that. But it was a video I was really proud of because again, it was a good representation of what I like to consider my talent, which is making lamps. And it was just really cool to have my bro think that it was cool, right?
Nice. I mean, I like the fact that YouTube just placed it before him, and it's beautiful. Like that was like really organic, organic kind of support.
Yeah.
This says basically make art for art's sake. That's what she was saying earlier. Everyone calling you superstar on the chat. I love that. And then brutal honesty. Marciano says brutal honesty builds. Babo, thank you so much, Babo. I can still see you there. David Ant is saying, Gogam, I'm on. Really? David, I'm not reading yet. Aaron, can you protect me from David? Aaron, you're the moderator there. Can you protect me from David on POK's chat? And then Kisha says, high-end lamps expert. And then Rebecca says, the silly videos are the most entertaining and rewarding ones. And you never really know, you never really expect them. Especially when the video is effortless. There's a question here by Patila. Patila is asking you, be okay, what advice do you have for content creators who procrastinate a lot?
You don't get more time. I mean, you can procrastinate if you want to. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not above it. I'm not above it. But you don't get more time, you get less. So I don't know. I really think it's important to make art when you're in the right frame of mind, but sometimes
True.
you can't be there. So you have to find ways. And I think Goga would probably comment on this, because apparently Goga does yoga. That's the whole thing, right? I was almost like a couple weeks old when I figured out that you actually were doing yoga as well. But I think it's important to find things that help to prime you and get your brain in the space to work. So again, for me, it might be taking a walk. Every morning before I do anything else, I start with some stretches that are kind of part yoga type stretches and things like that, because I want to get my breathing right. Because as Aaron says, I breathe high up in the chest. And the breathing techniques for me helps me to start my day feeling very relaxed. I also start my day with, what do they call that? Is maybe like a fellowship or a thing, a form of meditation where I put into the universe what I want.
The affirmations or something?
Yep. And I try to pull it back out. Mostly I'm just saying things like, please help me mind my business. And, you know what I mean? Because life goes a lot better when you mind your own business. I'm sorry, but it's true. A lot of times we spend our time minding other people's business and not minding our own business, and then wondering why things don't look the way we want them to look. And it's because we were too busy trying to, sculpt someone else's universe. So I really try to focus on minding my own business. And the other thing is, I ask to be of service every single day, twice a day. In the morning when I do my stretches, and at night, I always ask to be of service. If you are not going to be of service, have every seat. The world does not need anyone else here who needs things but does not want to give things. If you are not going to be of service, have a seat. Please. We can't anymore with you. You're going to have a seat. Choose to be of service. When you choose to be of service, you will always be serviced. The process of servicing others is a service given to you at the same time that you're giving. Choose to be of service. But I feel like the biggest thing is find a way to prime your day. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but start your day. As my grandmother would say, start out like you're gonna hold out. Start out like you came to do business. Every single day, get yourself ready, right? Understand what you have to do in that day, and don't deviate. Short of a real reason, it's got to be a good one. Don't deviate from what you have set forth inside of your day. Just execute it as flawlessly as you can, and then finish up and go on about your business. That's what you got to do. You don't want to be having to approach your day throughout your day. Approach it in the morning and then execute it throughout the day. Don't approach the day all through the day. Approach the day in the morning, execute your plan, finish up. That's what you got to do. At least that's how I try to do it.
I love that. And everybody, guys, why are you laughing on the chat? Why are you laughing on the chat? Because of the comment about minding your business. Everybody just went wild and they're like laughing at that comment of minding your business.
Mind it. It's what you got to do. I'm telling y'all. Trust me.
Yeah, they all went wild. They're just laughing like crazy there because of that statement. It's like, yes, mind your business. I like that, and maybe that will also be a great angle to also just find your thoughts in terms when you are in the space of content creation. Also, how do you manage to stay above the noise? Because one of the things, and this is me speaking from my own personal experience, because I do get a lot of suggestions. People for some reason like giving me suggestions on YouTube, and sometimes I'm like, but that's not me. I'm not gonna do it. Because my personality, I listen a lot. I do listen a lot. I observe a lot. And of course, I will not of course, I will not tell you. I'm not gonna do it. But I've listened, I've internalized, and I'm like, no, it's not my thing. But sometimes it's very difficult. We are in a space where people are looking for views, people are looking for numbers like crazy. People are obsessed with a certain direction when it comes to content, especially us as small YouTubers or growing YouTubers. How do you manage to stay above the noise? And for me, that's one of the things. That's usually part of my affirmation in the morning. Like, you are minding your business. May I learn to also stay above the noise, because there's a lot of noise, but sometimes just because people are making noise about something, it does not mean that it's necessarily the right thing. And that sometimes finds you in the minority. You happen to find yourself in the minority, and which is not it's not a bad thing. Sometimes just like staying true to your content. So usually, what do you do, especially on both your channels, when you realize that okay, people seem to be doing a lot of this? Should I exploit? Should I try it? Should I, even in your own niche? How do you like navigate that challenge?
I just have never been a person. I'm like the exact opposite. It's always kind of a little funny between my friends and I, because I'm from a big city, and I don't know if for the rest of you guys who are big cities and you go say have brunch on a Saturday or Sunday, there are brunch restaurants and you go and there's people waiting to eat brunch for hours or whatever. I never eat brunch at those places, but I've eaten brunch at some of the best restaurants in the world because I go on the times where I don't stand in line. I don't know. I'm not a person who wants to do what everybody else is doing at the same time that everybody else is doing it. By the time you hear about a trend, baby, it's over for you. So now you heard about putting a dog on your lap and making it sing the doodah song. Fantastic. By the time the dog gets up on your lap and you've got it to hold still long enough for you to do that, it's too late. Okay, because 1 million videos have dropped. Like, what is that ridiculous song? And I'm sorry for those of you guys who are using this. It's not a bad thing. It's just ridiculous to me. But that weird song, I think it must be from the 1960s that everybody's putting in their shorts. It's, you know the song I'm talking about, right? Like, what?
I can tell. I think I know the song you're talking about.
But I'm like, I don't know what it. I can't even think of the lyrics because my mind literally blocks out as much foolishness.
I know that song you're talking about, the baby one, right?
I know. Is that what it is? Something about
Pretty little baby.
Right. Oh my God. Thank you.
I knew that's what you're talking about.
And I'm like, what nonsense is going on here? And I've seen it. I've seen it utilized in so many ways. It was once used for somebody's garden. I once saw it used for somebody like talking to a turtle. I was just like, it can't be relevant in all of these cases.
I know.
I don't know that it was relevant in any of them. I don't think it was relevant at the time that it was created, because until 2 minutes ago, when they decided it was a good song, none of us had ever heard it before. So,
oh my goodness.
I think you gotta be, I don't know. You've gotta, I don't mean to be cliched, but you've got to kind of pound to the beat of your own dang drum. Like, if you're waiting for other people to make a rhythm for you to dance to, what kind of dance are you going to be doing when you start dancing? Is it the dance everybody else is doing? Fantastic. If that's who you want to be, I just have never been that person. I'm somewhat hard-headed. I'm a Leo. If anybody's into astrology or anything like that. So I, by virtue of just being myself, just don't feel the necessity to do what everybody else is doing. In addition to that, I feel like how I was raised and in that family filled with artists with so many strong personalities, I was curated, if you will, to be somebody who felt what I felt unapologetically and all the way through, as my dad would say, balls to bones. That's who I am. So there's not a lot of sway in me. Does that make sense? Not to say that it's a bad thing if that's the way you want to perform your channel. But for me, what could I jump to? Like, there's a million things going on. I don't have that kind of time. I have to do what is inside of my vision, what I've arrived at, and I have to execute it to the best way that I can. But I can't do what somebody else showed up with, because what is that? I don't know. It doesn't work for me, but maybe it works for other people, but it doesn't work for me.
Let's talk about your channel. So you have 2 channels. So there's BOK Media Life, which was the first one, and then now the BOK, where the live stream is happening, the BOK Media Food Freaks.
Yep.
Where, what inspired you to now start your second channel as an probably as an offshoot of the first channel, and do your channels reflect different aspects of your identity as a creator?
Yeah, and that's a great question. If you're looking at the past on my main channel, I was always trying to do more. It's not a DIY channel. The BOK Media Life was never started as a DIY channel. I made DIYs over time because of the way the analytics work. I pushed it into a space where I mostly do my DIYs over there. But ultimately, that is not how that channel started. If you look way back when, I was doing movie reviews and the best songs to sing on Christmas and the best Easter horror movies and the best top 10 candies. That was like the top 10 candy one, you guys, my Halloween candy that Goga just had up on the screen. That was the first video to get 1,000 views. And I'm telling you guys, if you don't know what a bad video looks like, please watch that, because it's the worst thing you've ever seen. It was like, I don't know, like if you made a video using crayons, like not actually video editing software, but just crayons, that's what that video is about. I don't even know. Sorry, seeing that video again threw me entirely off. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, because it dawned on me. I was having a flashback as to how terrible. I don't own that video anymore. I better take it down.
No, don't take it down. Scars, you are beautiful. Make it members only. You are now monetized. So if people want to see your old scenes, they better pay for it.
That's a great idea. But no, anywho, back to the question before I go off on a full mental tangent about how bad that freaking video was. I was already doing cooking and I wanted to do other things, but it seemed to me, again, and goes back to Goga's question about how do you navigate a space that you want to have your vision, but you also are trying to make something work inside of a space that is not just you answering, right? It's not just a question you're answering. It's a question being answered by the masses, because you're trying to engage society in what you're trying to do. And ultimately, the cooking did not work on that channel, but I still like to cook. We cook all of our meals here. My husband used to be a chef, and I love cooking. So I love food. I love trying hot sauces and things of that nature, but it had no place on that channel. They would not show those videos. It had no space on that channel. And so it was something we were already doing. And it just I felt at the beginning of the year that it would just be good to try to see if we could, set it up and let it rock. And the funniest also thing in the world is, for whatever reason, two things. I'm the same person, clearly, on both channels, because I'm just me. But the demographics on my DIY channel is like 65 to dead. That's literally, it's like 65 to cap, to the sky's the limits, to like you rocked over and fell out. Like it's 65 to that. And it skews 80, no. What is it, babe? It's something absurd. It's like 80% female.
Yeah.
It's 80% female, 65 and over. 65 and headstone.
Wow.
And very American, which makes sense because that's where I'm at. On my food channel, the demographics is all underneath the age of 45. It's like 45 to 9 years old. Keep in mind, I'm the same person. And it's like almost 50-50 males to females.
Oh.
I'm the same person. I'm the same person. This is me. I'm the exact same person. I usually don't show up on my DIY channel because I'm guessing that the demographic of 65 to dead does not necessarily want to stare at me all the time. So I don't necessarily show up there as much as I show up on my Food Freaks channel. But keep that in mind. I'm the same person, but how they shared out, created my audiences had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with my choice. It had nothing to do with me and my input, because I would have put in different input. The Food Freaks channel for me is more, it's more in alignment with what I was going for. It's more in alignment with who I am, and I think my voice and my vision, than the DIY channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kisha, sorry, Olajo is talking about the music choice on that candy. This is your...
Olajo, leave me alone.
Now, Olajo, you literally went into the rabbit hole of digging the receipts. Like, let me see this receipt. Be okay. This is why you have to make it members only. You see, people will have to pay for it in order to watch it. Now, in case people are going to watch it, they'll have, okay, it's restricted. And then Kisha says, so Be Okay is a 65-year-old retired lady in a 45-year-old and under body and life.
Yep.
Perfect summary of that. I mean, I think I totally agree with that that observation. It's like your content on this channel, the one that is on the screen, is being served to a totally different audience,
Yeah.
and yet, okay, interesting. So interesting how YouTube works.
Yeah.
Where's the majority of the audience on BOK media? Don't tell me they are from Asia.
I'm sorry, what?
Where's the majority of the audience from on BOK media food freaks? Where do they come from?
The majority still comes from the US, but I have an actual percentage or set of percentages that I'm pulling from like India. And then obviously a percentage that I'm pulling from, is it Kent? I don't know, somewhere else. But it's like the United States, and then my second thing is India.
So, wow, okay. Because I know the Indians, you literally find a lot of India in India or Indian audience in the food kind of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, interesting stuff. And a quick question. So, what do you hope, like, are you still going to keep the DIY going, or when because if not actually if, but when BOK Media Food Freaks gets monetized and stuff, are you going to be putting all your efforts on this new channel, or what is the plan in terms of how you're going to be juggling between the two channels?
I'm still going to try to navigate the two. I actually have begun, but not uploaded any content for a third channel. But
there's a third channel.
This is behind the scenes info, you guys. I set one up. I have not begun to upload content for that. The idea is to get Food Freaks up to monetization by the end of the year. And then if I'm able to do that, I will be starting a channel called the BOK Lifestyle, because so often people ask about like just what we're doing, what our house looks like, how I'm decorating, how I'm designing our home, how we're choosing things. People seem to kind of like the vlogs and stuff like that. So that would be kind of the home for that sort of content. So I went ahead and set up the channel just in case I decided to do that. Plus, hey, just hedge your bets just in case, you guys, because some of you guys be out here getting demonetized and you can't set up a channel after you do that. But if you have a channel already set up,
it's easier. You're saving for a rainy day. And speaking of a lifestyle channel, Ross Ngaji, who met you today at AA's Empire, is saying, I love your neck piece.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you.
I love your neck piece.
Abego.
Oh, there is how you got the Abego.
Yep, I got it from my Nigerian wifey over at AA Empire. Abego.
Big. And then you have to go and tell Aaron this. I'm sure you're like, then probably you did not get the donation, and he was like wondering, what are you doing?
I beg you. I know I'm doing. They were laughing at me because of how I was saying it.
Even Rose is laughing. Like you have to. Can you drag the O like more? Like abego, something like that.
What? Yeah, like selling fish at the market. Abego. I don't like it.
Yes, exactly. The way you say it.
No, I like it my way. Abego.
No, abego is like there's an anti-climax. You have to drag it a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it my way, Goga. Abego.
You see when the Nigerians are getting anxious. Abego, like even putting the many O's just so you can.
You know what? All of my Nigerian family, you guys, abego. I'm gonna say it however I want to. All right.
Abego. I like how it's like query. Abego.
Mind your business, everybody. I'm just gonna abego however I want to abego.
Community building, BOK. What kind of community are you trying to build through your content? Because one of the things I've realized that you network a lot. I noticed you network a lot. You support a lot of people across the YouTube board, regardless of where they are in the world. What conversations are you hoping to just start sparking? Because you are curating a community as well in that case, and you are literally going out of what somebody would call their niche to build that community. So talk to us about community building and what that journey has been like.
Yeah, so the people that I support, if you see me in your video comment streets or you see me on your live more than one time, it's because I actually like something that you're doing. If you see me one time, it's probably because I did the obligatory stop by your channel and did what I was supposed to do because I saw you somewhere. But if you see me more than once and I don't have to be forced into it, it's because I think you have good content, which is not easy because I'm a very, very hard person to get to sit still for long enough to want to watch anybody's anything. So if you see me, that is community building. But just because I'm watching you, I'm not expecting or even hoping that you will watch me too. Because as I said in the beginning, 2 hours ago, it's really, really important to me that the only reason you're on any of my channels is because you like something that you saw and you want to see more. So when I'm trying to build a community, I really want it to be made up of authentic people who find value in what it is that I am doing. If when you are on my channel, you are finding yourself barely paying attention and wondering if you could be doing other things with your time, you should. Because I don't necessarily need you to be there. I know that that's something, you know, people battle with because I think so much of the community is like, oh, well, I watch you. Come on, everybody connect and we'll all support each other. And I think that that's fair. But here's the thing. Think about this for 2 seconds. If you get to 100,000 subscribers and all of those 100,000 people are other content creators and you had to watch their videos, how you gonna do that? I can't watch the people I'm trying to watch, right? I have a husband, a father, a whole set of nonsense that I've got to do, 2 channels I'm trying to balance, a whole job I'm trying to do, a garden of food I'm trying to cultivate, critters we trying to feed out back, life I'm trying to live, okay? There is not enough time for me to build just my base with people who require me to watch their stuff in order to have them watch mine. I can't do that. And you will not get where you are trying to go that way. Should you connect with people who can help motivate you and help, again, each one teach one, each one reach one, give you information, give you intel, help you grow, that way, yes. But if you're connecting with people whose every video you've got to watch for them to watch every video you've got, that's a transaction you ain't going to be able to hold up for very long. You're just not going to be able to. So as I'm building my community, I'm interested in authentic people, mostly end users, right? End users, people who are not necessarily YouTube content creators, end users who are looking for content to watch. That's what you want to build. At least, let me not tell you how to build your community, but that is how I want to build my community. People who come to YouTube to be entertained. That's what I'm looking for. So hopefully that makes sense. Don't forget about sleep. Oh, Joe, I didn't forget about sleep years ago. What sleep is this? I'm not getting any sleep ever.
Yeah, so Kisha agrees with what you're saying there. I like how I like how Ola Joe had to slide sleep in. I love sleep. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it.
No, she knows I don't sleep. Ola Joe already knows. Ola Joe, Keish, Kira, these are all people I talk to all the time. They know that I don't sleep. So
anyway, so guys, feel free to drop any question you have on the chat. Feel free to drop any question you have on the chat, comments. I don't want BOK thinks I'm going to keep her here for like 8 hours, but no, I'm not going to keep her here for 8 hours. But please feel free to drop any comments that you may be having. One of the things you also talked about earlier was the need to diversify, and you and Aaron are working on something. You have a store. This is a very brilliant idea, and for me, I think I like creativity taking this kind of direction. The other day when I was teaching about Buy Me a Coffee, and I was telling the creators that you could even start, because it has a shop. The Buy Me a Coffee thing has a shop that you can start where you can be selling. Red Room does amazing stickers. So I was telling Red Room, you could actually start selling these stickers on the other side of Buy Me a Coffee and make some small. I mean, it can. I know you don't need it, but you can make something small out of it just by having that shop. Yeah. So tell us about Tiki Diki, and I'm going to share that with because that I think is a great idea. I'm seeing you taking this idea. This is, I think, like the version of when you become monetized. What do you call this thing that YouTube is trying to tell me to start shopping? There's something in monetization. What do you call it? The store thing that when you're monetized, that YouTube always gives you that option of starting a store as well.
Oh,
yeah, selling stuff. But of course, it goes back to they're going to take a huge chunk of the proceeds. It's like it's obscene. So So when I looked at Tiki Diki, I was like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. So maybe you can share more about this, and I'm going to project it on the screen.
Yeah. So a couple things. One, I cannot take full credit of any sort for Tiki Diki. That is very much so an A-Train thing. He is a graphic artist, and he and I have been working together trying to mix our ideas with graphic art and so many things in so many ways for years. We actually have a book that is up on Amazon as well, and I think Goga scrolled past it at one point, called The Wandering Eye. And that was published 10 years ago, and we were mixing my poetry and his graphic art. We've got videos up on Food Freaks where we're mixing his graphic art and my with my music to try to help you guys kind of think about food in a different sort of way. We've been doing this forever, but tikidiki.com is specifically a place where we put that again into a tangible thing, right? So this is a place where you can come and buy that art in a variety of ways, right? Kira can vouch for this. Keish can vouch for this. They have purchased things from that site in terms of t-shirts. These are very, very brilliant, very, very bold graphic art prints that have been added to stuff like apparel, right? Backpacks, whatever. So basically it's wearable, usable art. And we chose to do this again as a way to give people an opportunity to kind of bridge that gap between seeing something really cool on our videos, and then actually being able to snatch up some of these items for yourself. Trying looking at you as you kind of scroll. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind this. And these are all graphic art images that are curated specifically to have an impact. I mean, that's what Aaron does. He's a beautiful, brilliant artist. My contribution here is just that I am the person who heralds it from the rooftop, who integrates it into video content that I have. And of course, you'll sometimes see me wearing it. And I have maybe a tiny little bit of creative contribution to things like the website and some of the imagery that's being used. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that, Baby Pants?
You're doing great.
Did I say it right?
You did.
I think it's so funny because everybody always, if Rebecca's still out here, she's going to have something to say about this, but everybody always thinks, and Aaron is incredibly supportive. He's always here to help me and to assist me in what I'm doing. But keep in mind, it's a partnership. When Aaron was in a band and they wouldn't go on stage until 2:00 in the morning and get off at 3, and I had to go to work at 7, I was still there carrying his guitar and his amps. When he needed, when he needed somebody to film the shows, was I not there with the GoPro on the front of the stage filming it?
Ride or die.
Ride or die, baby, because that's what we do. So people, I think, sometimes get the wrong, I don't know to say wrong, but people are like, oh, she's asking him stuff. I'm like, that's what we do here. This is a partnership. When he's doing something, I uphold, uplift, and take second side fiddle to what he's doing. And when I'm doing something, he's there helping me get it done. That's how you do it when you're working as a partnership. So just to be clear, I put in my time, he puts in his time. But this website is really his baby. And it's really, really beautiful. And the art is incredible. And the way it gets printed on these clothes, chef's kiss.
Oh, guys, I've just put the website on the screen, so you guys can. It's very easy actually. Tiki Diki. Just look for Tiki. Just look for Tiki Diki. Tiki Diki. What does maybe Aaron can maybe what does Tiki Diki mean?
Do you want to tell them what Tiki Diki means, Baby Pants?
It means whatever you want it to mean. It's just a fun nonsense phrase.
My husband loves nonsense phrases. He's really into that. So he liked the way it sounded. I mean, that's the thing about a musician, is that everything is music to them. And so Tiki Diki, as Gogo was saying it, it's kind of cute, right? Like you say it told good in the mouth. I mean,
yeah, it's Tiki Diki. Like it's so easy to remember, like Tiki Diki.
Oh, it's also, so what did you say, Sweet?
You know, t-shirts, Tiki Diki,
I see what you did there. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So guys, check out that. Check out that. And I like what Olajo said, because Olajo actually took the words out of my mouth. Olajo said something up there. Let me just say that I can highlight it. Yes. And that is actually a great idea. Yeah. Olajo said, yeah, Goga Spring is the store or others. There. We can sell our merch. That is it. That is it. That's actually that's really the underlying message. And it takes creativity, guys. It takes you unapologetically coming up with creative ways on how you can actually start promoting yourself even beyond the platform, use the platform as a launching pad for other things that you can be doing. But use the platform just to put your creativity out there, and then start thinking. I like when BOK was telling you that, hey, this is a business, these channels are business. I'm looking at the they have to they have to make sense at some point. They have to make sense at some point. So that's why she's looking at it in terms of it being a business. One of the things he also talked about, and this is I promise is going to be one of my final questions, is we are not just videographers, we are not just authors, we are not just like what do I put it? We are not just like the people who are holding the camera or the people who are doing the editing. We are everything. You become everything as a content creator. And I don't know what was the experience when when you are writing your books and you had to promote your books. Is there a way that your work as an author, normally solidifies what you do on the YouTube channel itself? Are there some lessons that you can borrow from your work writing all these books that you've actually assimilated into your content creation? And what does that look like? It could be something like, as an author, you need a book published, and of course this means there's need for a publisher, and then there's need for somebody to promote this book. Do you need to appear for a book tour or things like that? Are there ways that you normally bring in this experience into these other aspects of content creation on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like the process of publishing books and having to market them way back when, on the days when I was on Facebook, which I am not and haven't been for forever at this point. First off, I already had a thick skin, but it gave me a much thicker skin. Second off, it allowed me to be able to remove myself somewhat from the art, right? Or not from the art, but from the process of the commerce of art. There's an intrinsic value in what we're doing that speaks to us when we're making art. But when we begin to try to sell it, and again, if you're on YT and you're trying to make it to the monetization program, you are trying on some version to sell your art. It has a arbitrary value that someone else is placing on it. And literally full circle, this is part of that conversation that I have every day with myself about minding my own business. When I say that, part of that is this thing. When you make art and you do the best that you can, you edit it, you light it. Remember, everybody, we light it. We make sure it's not basement dark, we light it. And we edit it as best we can and we put it out there. That's it, my friends. The same as it was with the 42,000 video that I did and the one that made 60 views. It doesn't matter because I did the best that I could and then I let it go. That's the part of minding your business. If you are corralling yourself in the way that you need to, if you're utilizing those organization techniques and you are putting together the resources necessary to have the best chance at it, everything else after that ain't your business. Break the wrist, walk away. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You can do the best that you can do. And then past that, you're in somebody else's territory. You're minding other people's business. So that is why, though, it is so important to make sure that you're amassing the resources necessary so that when you sit back, you can truly say, that was the best I could do. And that's it. You want to make sure you can at least get to that place, right? And it's different for everybody. The best you could do might be that you can afford a flip phone and you're trying to edit it on PowerPoint. So be it. If that's the best you can do, it doesn't have to be the same as the best that I can do or the best that Go could do. It just has to be the best you can do so that when you sit back, you're okay with it. You're proud of it. And again, you cannot be measuring your success by the success of the world. Measure it by how much of your passion you were willing to pay. That's how much you have. That's what it is worth. That's what it's worth to you. It cannot be what it's worth to anyone else because no one else matters. And that's the truth in minding your own business. How do you make it okay for you? That's all I can say.
Powerful statement right there. Ladies and gentlemen, a great story is good. I can't believe it's almost like 3 hours. It's been 2.5 hours. Yeah, just like that. It feels like we just started the conversation. It's like we feel like we're scratching the surface. But I like the concept of minding your business and leaving the rest to, leaving the rest. Rose Ngaji says, put in the work and sit back. I like how you interpreted it, Rose. I think I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that too. I love that too. I love that too. And thank you so much to everybody. I'm seeing you guys there over at BOKs. Thank you so much. Make sure you've liked the live stream because it's important. We need those watch hours. We need those watch hours to like break in real quick in that channel. It's on the road there. It's on the road there. Kish the stylist says great live. Yes, thank you so much for that. Title Pro is clapping. Yes, you guys are loving that. That was very powerful. That was very powerful. Yes, drop those compliments there on BOKs. I've told you don't come and drop compliments on my chat. Drop them on her chat there so that she can see them, and then even when she does the replay later, the compliments will be showing from the other side. So drop those nice compliments there. Red says it never gets any easier. It never gets any easier. Olajo says, thank you, BOK and Goga. I love this. I loved it too. I've had an amazing time today. Like, it was so nice. And I was like, oh, BOK, we've been planning this like over a month. I think BOK has been over a month, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been over a month since we scheduled this live stream, and look at us, like, at us minding our business, right? Look at us minding our business. The final questions will really be mostly reflective, and this is just going to be just to like make sure that we are not living like just like that. We, in the spirit of minding our business. The younger version of yourself. Think of your brother, think of your mom, God rest her soul, think of your dad. What is that thing you'll tell the younger version of yourself? The one that was just starting to like journal, because you said you've been journaling since like you're young. Or that young girl, Phil, who was dreaming of creative freedom. What will the younger version of yourself, the one that just started that creative journey of dreaming, what will you tell that young girl today, sitting from where you are today, having explored all these things, having done all this stuff?
Honestly, I would say just take a deep breath, breathe. It's absolutely going to be okay. It always was going to be okay. It's okay. That's what I would say, because it's always been okay, even when it seemed as if it wasn't, even when the process of trying to do things felt almost insurmountable. It's never not been something that was worth it. The ride has always been good, nice. Even when it was bad, because it's my ride. And so I would tell myself to just breathe and that it was going to be okay.
Oof. Any other exciting new projects we should look out for other than a new channel? Is there like a new book that is coming up? Like a book launch you're supposed to be attending?
Well, I would say that what I will be doing, let me get these up. I think they're probably backwards too, because my thing is not mirrored, but I will be coming out with Zombie Seed 3 shortly.
It actually looks good. It's not like showing like upside down or anything.
Oh, okay, good. But no, I will be coming out with Zombie Seed 3, or I'm trying to by the end of the year. I was supposed to do this last year, but it did not work out. There was a lot going on last year, but I'm still trying to do it. It's mostly written. I just need to finish it up, but I know that people love that because a trilogy is apparently what people keep their eyes out for. So yes, I am intending to drop that. So for all of my fans who love the good zombie book, don't worry, because part 3 is going to be worth the wait. It's mind-blowing.
Right. Let me see. And guys, once again, if you want to like find out BOK's books, they're on Amazon. They're available on Amazon. Let me see that I can. They're available on Amazon. There is I shared the link earlier, but I can also drop the link on my chat. You can just check out her name, and it's there. It's there. PM Burns, and I love the name. Am I saying it right, or I'm butchering the name?
No, you're fine. PM Barnes. Yep.
Yeah, PM Barnes. And so so guys, that is the Amazon link to the books that I've just dropped on the chat. You can, I think I've checked them. Olajo, drop for me the link. Let me see, I can drop it even on I can't drop links on BOK side, but Olajo, you can drop for me the link on that side for the people who are there. Yes, you can check out that side and promote the author, promote the books. As we wait for the trilogy 3, get to understand her story, It's a totally different side of you, by the way. Like, no, I was reading the bio there, and I was like, wait a minute, what does she do again?
Oh
And
Lord.
then, for me, watching your interview with watching your interview with Aaron on Tony, that did it for me. I was
Oh,
like, it was so funny. It was
yeah.
so funny. Yeah,
I should
you
turn
guys
that
are.
members only too, because that video is a rare sighting of Aaron, you guys. If you want to see Aaron, he is on that video, but don't rush there yet. Let me turn it into members. I'm just kidding. No. But if you guys want to see Aaron, he is all over that video.
Ola Joe is already there. Oh, yeah. It was very nice, and then I was laughing at. I like how you guys crack jokes with each other, and I think it's because you guys really have. I think you've been together for a while, so there are certain things like, especially when you are making fun about the credentials, and then that took me out completely. It's like, because you kept on emphasizing, so what are your credentials again? Why do you think you're the right person to comment on this book? And then you're putting him on the spot because of the cover. That was bold. So be okay. Let me just ask my own personal. I'm not going to mind my business here.
Oh,
Tony. Who's Tony? Is Tony like that's what everybody has been thinking, I know.
are we talking about Tony?
Yeah, when Aaron was holding this book, and then that was it for me.
Oh, Tony. Honestly, people have been asking me this, and that book was written quite a while ago. I mean, obviously at that point I was already married, because all my books have been published since I've been married. Published my very first book on Aaron and I's honeymoon, which was Zombie Seed 1. But the Tony is just a compilation of stories from being a young girl from the cities, and people that I hung out with, and their experiences, coupled with maybe some experiences. I heard from a friend of a friend. No, it's okay. No, but I think the beauty of that book, once you get past the cover, whether you're male or female, or whether you're into that sort of thing or not, is I don't really write romance. What I usually write is some version of comedy. Like, even when I write horror stories, as you can tell just by talking to me for a little bit, I have a crazy little sense of humor. I'm a weirdo. I swing from very basic to full-on frat boy. So the book is not a traditional romance. It literally says that on the back. What it is just comedy, and it's the kind of experience that anybody who's been out in the dating world has had. So that's what makes it just such a cool book and such an easy read, I think.
The cover. Can we talk about the cover? Because Kish be like, yeah, who's Tony? Tell us.
Oh, you're saying who is this dude? I don't even know. This is some stock photo, y'all.
Oh, okay. No,
Aaron,
even Kisha is asking. They've all been thinking it.
Hey, Aaron, you've been doing sit-ups, baby, every day. This is tight. No, this is just so you guys know. This is Goga. You guys don't know this, but I've known Goga for quite some time now. He yogaed these abs. This is what yoga can do for you. Goga's yoga. This in 1 week. In 1 week's time. This right here.
Aaron, can you type an emoji on the chat in case you feel threatened? Let me know. Type an emoji. Type my purple emoji on the chat in case you have been held hostage.
Oh no, that's hilarious.
And then Watch Queen is saying, "Wow, Tony is my husband's name."
Well, I don't know. No, I love the name Tony. I feel like it's so universal. I've met Tonys from all over the world, and so it just seems like a universal name for a strapping young dude. So, yeah.
Yeah. Your books also like really as we were saying earlier during the introduction, they really focus a lot, especially on the human condition. I came across a quote from one of your books, which was, I think it must have been the Zombie Seed, where you talked about empathy and how it can be a superpower or something like that. How do you curate, especially the themes around your writing? Are they inspired by? Because I know it's fictional writing, but I know there's an aspect of inspiration that where do you draw inspiration from the writing itself, especially when you're thinking of a theme around a book?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, The first book, like I said, I published was Zombie Seed. And partly I've always been a person who's into horror. I love horror movies. I own so many, it's not even funny. And I read a lot of horror books. And I really love zombies. And I really wanted to try something a little bit different. A lot of times when it comes to me breaking down a book, I will take a very universal, very common emotion or setup that most human beings are dealing with, but then put it in a novel situation, right? So, for instance, the book Zombie Seed, the very first one, you've got a woman who's battling with some trauma, but she's doing it in the middle of this ridiculous world where there's motherfucking zombies everywhere. Like, it's like what she's dealing with is the trauma of being like a mother who's lost a child and lost a husband and these things. And it's the kind of story that you could see anywhere, but it's being amplified by the space that it's happening in. And so I love that. I love to kind of scrutinize the human experience, but in these very different spaces. Like, they prey on us, which if you scroll up is the light blue cover short story. Sorry, scroll up. I meant scroll down. One of my personal favorites, if you guys are looking to get your feet wet into what I write and you don't mind horror, I strongly suggest that one because it's a quick, easy read. It's relatively inexpensive. And it looks at what happens in the post-apocalypse to all of the animals, all of the pets that everybody has when there's no people there to feed them anymore. So it's a very interesting book. I've gotten some very interesting feedback on that because it's a different way to think about things, right? Everybody where I live has a dog. What happens when there's no people here to give them kibbles and bits?
Oh, wow.
It's creepy and gross. Cats, dogs, what happens when people aren't around anymore? I don't know. But if you're interested in hearing what my take is on it, I strongly suggest reading that short story there because it's a really nice, I think, possible way that things could go down.
Yeah, I like the comments on the chat, guys. It is stop listening to Be Okay. Be Okay. Stop listening to Be Okay. That is not me on the cover of Tony. Guys,
no,
go and buy
it is. It actually says it right here. It's Goga. I'm sure of it. This isn't you, Goga.
And then Red Room is saying Tony is my name. Now you see people even claiming it's probably Red Zoom. That's definitely. I mean, Red Zoom is that is.
Is it Red Room?
Yeah, he says because it's called Tony. Tony is his name. So, wow, Red Zoom, you are called Tony. You have a government name. I did not even know that. Yeah. Like, wow, like you are called Tony Red. I did not even know that story. Like, I can never imagine even calling you Tony. Okay, guys. So I think guys, if you are so please, this is also another aspect of support you can give to Be Okay. She writes books, guys. She writes books, and she has quite a number of them. One thing I like about the books is like it's very, especially the covers. They are very provocative in a very creative way. Like, look at that one, The Devil Ate Me, for example. You know, there's some thought process that goes into the covers, and I don't know how do you curate. Wait. Let me because you're showing it in person. Let me say that I can. Look at that. Like, look at it stands out. Like, this is something that you'd want to read, like if you have to come across it. How do you come through how do you like ideate, especially the covers? Is there like a process, or is there somebody who advises you on the book covers?
Yeah, I mean, obviously having a husband who's a graphic artist helps. But usually I can
guys get husbands who are graphic artists. It's important, ladies.
Yes. But usually I conceptualize, like I come up with an idea. Sometimes I even do the art. But one thing that Erin is really helpful with is that making art that holds up to being printed is very different than making art that's just being seen on a computer. So he's really, really been integral in helping me make sure that the visions that I have, like I did the graphic, but in order for the graphic to show up on a book and not look like, you know, somebody had sketched it on there, it required a level of skill I did not have. So A-Train was very integral in making that happen. Because, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, Tony, I found that. Erin did not find this image. I did. But he did make it so that, you know, every parcel of those pecs comes through quite clearly. you know? Like,
Okay, okay, we get it. Guys, you see what she was doing with the book? This one
so
can tell you.
I mean, it is what it is. And the same with this. Like, I did this whole scene. I created the graphic, but A-Train made sure that when you look at it on a book, you know, this is a shiny book cover, that it's perfect, right? So it's helpful to have that because I would have been able to make my own cover, but when it printed, it would have been trash. Or I would have had to pay somebody for it because, again, every time you endeavor to do something, somebody's standing there with their hands out trying to get as much money from you as they could. But having somebody who was a graphic artist was integral in making sure I didn't have to spend more money just to create a good cover. So, but thank you, Goga, for posing for that picture. I appreciate you so much. It really helped with book sales.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, guys. I often don't. I often don't do this, but you know, talk to me nicely. You can reach out to my agents. I'm gonna milk this. I'm gonna milk this to my advantage. Like, guys, you know that book, Tony? That's me. That's me, guys. That's me all.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's me all. And even Liz Rodriguez also says, "I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it."
Hey, Sunshine Sally. What's up, Liz?
Let me ask one a very question, because as an author, especially in this age of AI, where people are creating things using artificial intelligence, and also just this, you can also speak to creativity just in general as a closing remark. We're living in an age where people are like, actually, people are not originally creating stuff. People are getting help creating stuff. Of course, we are in that season. Even sometimes, I like how somebody said, nowadays people don't even want to think. Something very simple, they'll just go and say, "Oh, let me go ask ChatGPT to actually just think about it." And it's something that you can easily curate because you have the experience, you have the exposure, you have the things. So, as an author and also as a creative, what is your take on this, especially in the age you are living in? Do you think people are going to lose the art? Do you think people are going to lose that spark or the creative spirit because of artificial intelligence tools and things like that?
Great question. And I have a multi-layered answer to it, but I do want to comment on this, Goga. About 7 questions ago, you said it was the last question, and then 7 more questions rolled in. And I'm just like, on this one,
I don't want to let you go. I want you to meet your 8-hour mark. I don't want to let you go.
My friend, oh no. I am 100% certain I don't have 8 hours in your girl today. But and I'm fine with it. I love this. This is a good conversation. And the good thing about good conversation is you almost never know how long you've been doing it. So it's totally fine by me. But I do remember you said last question. Tell me if I'm right, people in the comments. Did he not say that like 45 questions ago? Okay. So
the good thing, I'm glad your moderators are busy handling the chats as you talk.
So here's what I would say. I have mixed feelings about AI to a certain degree because of the world that we live in. There are elements of it that are at play, specifically if you're operating on any of these platforms, because it's happening whether you want to or not. As you are uploading things, AI is making decisions about how the things that you upload get seen. They're making all sorts of decisions about that. Again, you could say that falls into the category of not your business, but to a certain degree, your business is being able to understand the game you're playing. So there's certain elements of that you're going to have to be aware of. Now, as it pertains to things like ChatGPT, I usually make it a point to not have conversations with machines. We do not have like the Alexas and the whatever's in this house. Whenever I'm trying to have a conversation I really care about, I usually try to turn the things off that may or may not be paying attention to me. Maybe that's considered, I don't know, weird, because it seems like a lot of people are very comfortable having conversations with machines. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not sure why I would. And in terms of how it's going to affect creativity, I think it will affect creativity. I think it will also affect the trajectory of the society. The thing to keep in mind is, while having a conversation with a machine, why it may feel conversational, it is not. It seems that way, but it is not. You are having a conversation with something that has been programmed to provide a set of responses. It lacks the nuance that is a part of our interactions with human beings and anything that's living. Does that mean it's bad? Does that mean you should stop having conversations with all of your machines right now? No. Who the hell am I? I'm just me. I'm telling you what I think. But I think that if you're relying entirely on conversations and advice given by machines, you might have a hard time connecting to what really resonates with us as people, as living, breathing things, because machines do not have nuance. They have pre-programmed sets of understandings and things that they've been able to extrapolate from those sets of understandings, but not nuance. And even then, what they can extrapolate is questionable. So I would caution against making decisions because a machine told you to make them.
Well done. Aaron says they are mirrors. These are mirrors. And then Diesel says it can be used for good, like the healthcare and education, but it should be used for bad. If it should be used for bad things as well, I fear 100%. And then I think Tandeka says yes, it's already affecting creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, a good story is good until another is told. It's almost 3 hours. I've kept this. I think this is one of the guests who has stayed at the Sunday service longest. Because she's just amazing to listen to. You don't want, she's like you're hanging out on a Sunday. She feels like hanging out with your siblings on a Sunday as you're waiting for lunch to be ready. And that's why I didn't want to I don't want to release her, because it's a good conversation. But the good thing with a good conversation is that it can always continue, and that's why you have to make sure that you're subscribed to her channels. Not one, there are two. There's BOK Media Live and there's BOK Media Food Freak. So make sure you're connected to those two channels so that you can get to have these conversations. I see Joyful Designs is saying she's amazing. Yes, she's
crafting
amazing.
bestie. Woo, woo, woo. What up, Joy?
She's amazing. And then Helen Akoi is like, Goga, that was too fast. Where did you just start 30 minutes ago, Helen? It was 3 hours ago.
Go to sleep, Ellen. Go to sleep.
It was 3 hours ago, Helen. This is the beauty with good conversations. You don't want to end them, but we have to be practical. It is Sunday. I have to let her go make the cocktail because she has to make content. She has to make content. So, she has to make content. But and then Double Roses Twin, thank you so much for that as well. And thanks so much, guys, for the good conversation. So please drop your nice comments there. The last thing I'm going to leave her to just sign out. And then what's going to happen is that she's not yet at 1K, so she cannot read you back. So I'm going to drop my live stream link so that you can come back here. We will chat a bit, read the affirmation, and then we are going to raid somebody. And then my moderators, can you get me the link for the raid? It will be BOK and Goga raid today. So black hat and purple hat somewhere in there when you are ready to end the live stream on my side. So be okay. You're going to be on a solo layout just to wrap up, sign off, say everything you want to say, tell people to mind their business. You have 5 minutes or less to do that, and then we will release you, and then I'll be able to end your live stream and then bring them back over here. So over to you.
Sounds good. I'm not going to keep you for 5 minutes. I will just say first off, thank you guys so much for being here. The people who came in via my channel and the people who have come via Goga. If you are from my channel and you have not already subscribed to Goga, please do so. I've learned so much from watching Goga, and I probably have shared that with you in some way or the other. So definitely get it from the mouth directly by signing up with Goga, or signing up. What was he doing out here? Selling candy bars? No, I mean by coming over to Goga's channel and subscribing. For those of you who are connecting with my channel, again, I just hope that you are doing so because you authentically are interested, because I authentically want to engage with you. But yeah, if it's not your kind of content, I'm okay with you not being there. Lastly, I know that there's a lot of content creators who are watching right now, and I will just say, in no way does my opinion on the things that I have stated have to or should limit you and what you want to do. The idea behind what I was saying was simply to provide you with information, because information's power, and to give you what my take on it was in my experience. I know that all of us are doing something really, really incredible, and I hope that you will continue to do so. And if I like your content, I'll come and watch it. And that's it. But that's all I got. Where's Goga?
I'm here. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm officially going to end her live stream on the other side. So be okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for really making this fun. It was so beautiful having you here. For over 1 month, we've been planning this, and for us to see it happen, it's a dream come true. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. Also, I want to give a shout out to Helen Akoya for making this connection happen. That over 1 month ago, I met Be Okay through Helen's channel. And I'm glad that we're able to do this. So thank you so much, Be Okay. You're officially released from the Sunday service. I am going to end your live stream now. So you can say bye to your people and then go.
Sounds good. Bye, you guys. And thank you, Goga, for having me. That's awesome. And thank you, Helen, for introducing me to Goga and all the other cool people that I know because of you. Thank you so much, you guys.